Homer led the league in tackles with 85. The deep ball for Darius Prince, and Philadelphia's on the board first.
On the draw, this is Bryson Allen. And Allen weaving his way all the way down to the 22.
10-yard line, 5. Mayfield, Dancy, all around. Throw it as far as he can throw it. Jump ball coming. Crazy stuff. Not this time.
And you want to be a wide receiver, you're going to have to take a little bit of a hit like that as Brown got him in that shoulder, but watch. Those are teeth.
Do we have a dentist on staff here?
Yeah, Shady Sportsman, we're back here Saturday morning around the indoor football world, number one show in the nation. I'm joined by my boy, Coach B, as always, my guy, TJ. And today we have a very special guest, man, Coach Lobban, assistant head coach and defensive coordinator for Sioux City Bandits. Coach B, how you doing today, man?
I'm good, brother. Glad to be here. I'm only here so I won't get fined.
Yes, sir. What about you, TJ? What do you got going?
Yeah, man, just another day. Good to be here.
Most definitely. Coach B, I'm going to let you kick off the questions. I know you and Coach Lobban. Talk to me how you met Coach Lobban and talk about your relationship with him. And kick off the questions for us.
I met Coach Lowe through Arena. Like I said, I started my career at Sioux City. So just going through there, he was already a big guy. Him and Tonga was the guys there at the time. So met him. I done played against him. Coach had him coach me before, so we built a relationship, and we've been doing some ventures outside of football. So it's just been an ongoing relationship. When you got a genuine guy, you know what I'm saying, you build that vibe, that chemistry, and it goes from there. I do want to start off with a quick question though for Lowe. Lowe, do you ever see yourself being the head coach of the Sioux City Bandits, or actually taking that role as the big guy? Or do you like just being the DC and working in the front office behind the scenes?
Oh, man, the wind just picked up out here. No, I mean, honestly, everything's year by year with everything that we do. I know I'm not doing without Irv. He probably say the same thing, but I also know that Irv is also he's showing me everything. You know what I mean? And regardless if I want to know it, I learn it. And will I be ready if that time was to happen? Yes. But am I looking forward to it? No. And as I said before, Irv's a guy that I'm not doing it without. We sat in a meeting room last year and had the same conversation about who we doing it with and how we're doing it. And our crew is a crew that we're not doing it without. Unfortunately, I think you Irv probably will kill me for saying this, but he's probably the forever head coach. And my role is my role. And I enjoy my role. And if it just so happened to be at some point that role has to change, I'll be ready. Whether it's retirement or coaching, head coach or whatever you call it. With us in Sioux City, as long as we've been around, Irv obviously is the winningest head coach in the history of the Sioux City Bandits. So whoever takes that role after him have to understand they're going to have to fill huge shoes. And I don't say that, lightly just to say it, but anybody with 100 plus wins that's 10 plus years of coaching. So do I have 10 plus years of coaching after this? Who knows? At the end of the day, Irv's a year-to-year guy, and I can tell you right now, he's literally on a boat with his sons, fishing right now. Coaching is not even crossed his mind right now. That's what we usually don't even. It's early for us. We usually don't even do anything until about late August, and get together and kind of figure out what our crew's doing. We do what we do with our families right now, and then when we know, September, October, we kind of kiss the babies and say this is where we get busy at, and we really get busy later January, February, and it's real in March. So we'll let him do what he do right now. Of course, we talk every day, but trust me, we don't really talk much about football. We just kind of catch up with other life adventures, and like he just got his daughter. He moved her to college. Well, she already was in college, but he moved her into a different place. His other son's up in Brookings playing, and he's a long snapper for South Dakota State. His other son has got a career job, so Irv's pretty busy. I don't know if you ask Irv, does he want to be the head coach? He'd probably say no, but it's just second nature to him. It's what he does, And at the end of the day, if you ask me, do I want to be the head coach? I'd probably say no. Honestly, it's just because it is what it is. We do what we do and we love what we do. But, to take on that role, I wouldn't do it without a certain crew. And the crew I'm with, I'm happy with.
Gotcha. I got one more for you. Where do you see Sioux City Bandits going in the next 3 to 5 years? And do you guys seeing that you can win multiple championships with what you about to create the next few years?
To see where we're going in 3 to 5 years, obviously, I can't tell you that Sioux City's going to be here just because we've been here for the past 26 years. We're very consistent. Obviously, every year we want to be competitive, and every year we want to, bring back a championship to the Siouxland. That's our number one goal. But we may not physically bring home a championship every year, but we bring home a championship off the field. We don't have any problems in the community. We have great sponsors. We have great players coming in and out the doors. I can proudly say, that since Irv has taken over, and prior to Irv taking over, Sioux City's never really had a problem off the field, but for sure off the field we don't have problems. And that's a championship in our eyes. You get these guys to come in for what you're paying them, and you get these guys to, buy into being a Sioux City Bandit. And some guys end up staying long term, and people always say, how do these guys end up with all these vets? These guys end up falling in love with the process of what we do and how we do it, and it locks them into us. And, sometimes that hurts us, I guess, but at the end of the day, you get to build relationships that's not even football related. And then those guys become successful. Like, I'll give you another example. This was probably 6 years ago, probably. We had Arthur Dokes come in, a former University of Pittsburgh player. He played with Aaron Donald. Offensive lineman, came here out of Jackson, Mississippi, didn't really do much. Came here and played football a couple of years, got a job as a jailer. Now he's a big sheriff down in Luna, Iowa. That's pretty successful. That's a championship in our eyes. Same thing with Devin Groenhanger, was a guy that was a tryout guy, a local guy, never really, made the team at a tryout, but he kept coming back and he finally made the team. Now he's one of our top 10 players of all time. He's another local sheriff in town. Like, that's a championship off the field in our eyes. So next 3 to 5 years, we're going to keep building those type of guys and building those type of, relationships in the community and outside of the community to keep our Siouxland people proud. And at the end of the day, bringing home a cup will be great for us. That's the goal. That's what we do it for. But ultimately, like I said, championship off the fields is also a win in our eyes.
Coach, one of the questions I think a lot of people want to know is about the quarterback position. Verlon Reed is getting older. Tyler Lawson is kind of the new kid on the block. Where do you see that quarterback position kind of going in 2026?
Well, obviously that was a big question coming back into 2026. We felt we did a great job bringing back the crew that we did. I think, going down to Beaumont early first game, Verlon took a nice hit, which we thought it was late, but what it is, he took a nice hit. Anybody that messes up their labrum, their throwing labrum, they're going to have a lot of people probably didn't know that. They're going to have a tough year. But I can tell you, what Tyler, in the head, behind him or whatever you consider it, Tyler learned a lot. Tyler learned a lot last year when Verlon came in. Tyler learned a lot this season, and he had to put what he learned out there on the field. But he also don't know everything. A guy like Verlon knows a lot. So one thing in Sioux City is we stick with our guys. And I can say, our record wasn't approved by anybody, but we stuck with Verlon and having two quarterbacks play. They always say if you got two quarterbacks, you don't have one, but that's not the case. Verlon has made himself a guy in the community. Verlon has made himself, available for his teammates on and off the field. Same thing with Tyler. Those guys got a great working relationship. They got a great relationship off the field. Was there some competition? Hell yeah. Did you see anger coming out of both of them? Hell yeah. Did you see some confusion coming out of both of them? Hell yeah. But in all reality, their lockers were literally next to each other. Never had an issue with each other. I don't think they ever will. And if we, have the opportunity to bring them both back, we possibly will. We'll consider it at that time, and we'll let the best man play. With a 21-man roster, you try to have a quarterback that can do multiple things if you're going to carry two of them. Hell, Verlon, a lot of people don't know Verlon was ready to play receiver. Tyler was a special team stud for us the year before as a backup quarterback. He was a guy that would line up at linebacker just to blitz him because he wanted to make the 21-man roster. So to have those guys be flexible and to have those guys understand the complex of our offense is amazing. But of course, there's only one starter. And right now, I mean, if you ask me, we're going to open up the door to see who can come in and take that job, whether it's Verlon, Tyler, or this kid from wherever we're looking. We're always going to bring in competition to compete and win the job. But at the same time, we also, like I said before, we're going to figure out who's great for our locker room, who's great for our community, who's great for us in general. We're not just going to go ahead and say, oh, we want this player because his attributes are so good. No, we want to figure out the rest, and then we'll work with him because Verlon comes to my house, hangs out with my kids. Tyler comes to my house, hangs out with my kids. We do business outside of football. Like, those are the type of people we want to bring in. So, unfortunately, our record didn't show that we brought in good people, but we brought in great guys. You know what I mean? So, ultimately, I'm not going to bash what either one of those guys did or anybody on our team. I just know that we wanted better play for everybody, and at the end of the day, we also needed to coach better. A lot of those games, besides the last game, the one-possession games. You're sitting here telling me Verlon had a bad season, and we know he did, but we were one possession away from every single game besides the game Colorado throttled us. Other than that, we're sitting at 8-1. I'm totally fine with that. You flip the tails or heads, and now we're 8-1, and people are looking at us like, oh, well, Verlon, is he playing so bad? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, one possession games with Tyler and Verlon, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
I mean, you've been around this game for a while. When you look at the league as a whole, where do you think the NAL is at in terms of level of parity across the board?
Parity is a great choice, a great word of choices. I mean, I think that the NAL is trying to do what they can do. I think they're trying to stay in their lane, but also think they're growing in a sense to where they have to make certain moves, and also these moves have to make sense. I know we hear a lot of chatter about oh, this team shouldn't be here, or we should do this, we should do that. A lot of people don't understand what goes on to making a schedule. A lot of people don't understand what goes on to actually vetting a ownership group. Those guys that are behind the scenes that are doing it, hats off to them, because you're putting your brand at stake if it goes wrong. If it goes right, you're putting your brand at stake. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So ultimately, of course, I would love to see us, have a 14-team league and just no problems, no hiccups, none of that. That'd be great. Who wouldn't want that? Even these so-called other leagues have the same problems we have. Ours just seems to be more upfront because they're a little bit upfront. They'll come out in the Beaumont situation. I don't even know what's going on with that. The league obviously dropped, quote unquote, agreed to drop each other, and all these other things are going on about them. But Beaumont was a good team. They won the championship. I think there's some things to work on. Our league knows that. But at the end of the day, I feel like the door is open for them to come back. And am I hoping that they come back? Yes, because that gives us, some stability, some parity. And at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to make this thing work. It is a business. It is an opportunity for guys to move up to the next levels. It is an opportunity for coaches to move up to the next level. It is a business. Ultimately, a business is supposed to make money. A business is supposed to do the right things. A business is also supposed to make sure its customers are satisfied. And a lot of our customers are in the stands. A lot of our relationships are sponsorships. Like, we have to have those things have to be good for us in order for this industry to be good. And you got two teams in this industry that have been around for 50 plus years together. Just why wouldn't you want to be around those two teams? Now, will you do everything those two teams do? No, because we don't do everything Omaha does. Omaha doesn't do everything Sioux City does, but we damn sure piggyback off each other. And when we play each other, it's a battle. So why wouldn't you want that? Like, I mean, I've been around it for 14 years, man. I've seen a lot as a player, and I've damn sure seen a lot as a coach. So I'm hoping that the league can find some great stability and some parity for us. And at the end of the day, players want to play. I don't think they care who they play.
I hate to do this to you, Coach, but very straightforward question. You're 0-11 against the Omaha Beef the last 11 times you played them. How badly do you want a chance to beat Coach Negron in the Beef? And what do you think you guys have to do to kind of get over that hump? Finally?
Well, I'm not 0-11 against Coach Negron. So we can set that record straight. But at the end of the day, our team is 0-11 against Omaha Beef. Yes, there have been close matches. At the end of the day, I mean, they're 70 miles away from us. It's a real deal rivalry. I don't know if I can tell you right now, I do not like them. Do I like Ricky? Yeah. Do we have a great working relationship? Yeah. But when it's time for game day, playing, there's no liking you. Like, I want to win. I want to make sure that you understand I want to win. And they do the same thing. They've had opportunities where they can pour it on us, and believe me, they poured it on us. As much as Ricky as the ownership group give me that look like, dude, I wish we could change this. They're going to do what they got to do. Now, believe me when I tell you, if you go back and look at the history as we had our BTA moments, a lot of them. And believe, bro, you just made me so fucking sorry. We got a lot of other things to get to, but yeah, you understand that Omaha's a rival. But at the end of the day, you played them 10 times. Hopefully you can win 10 times. And they obviously beat us 11 times. But for the record, we most definitely understand that we got to get off that hill.
TJ, you got any questions for Coach before we let him go?
No follow-up with Omaha Beef stuff.
No.
Nah, I don't have anything like that for you, man. We talked about, the NAL. It's, up and coming. It does get a lot of negative focus, but there has been a lot of, team movement, both teams leaving, but also positive, hearing about teams coming in and everything else. Where do you see the league as a whole over the next few years? Do you see it expanding and becoming even more competitive than it really already was this past season?
I think honestly, that's the goal every year. Just the conversations I've had with, some of those guys, they're pretty straightforward and honest. They're not just looking to add anything. They're looking to add what makes sense geographically for us, and also who actually can make it work consistently, not just make it a year. Obviously, you want a team to make it 5+ years because it's sad when you see a good thing and then they're gone. Like I remember when back in the day we had Bismarck and they first came in. Well, Bismarck has been a market for a while, but when they first came back, I should say, dude, we went up there 2 years in a row. Same season. Dude, it was crazy up there. That was an environment that like you felt like, oh my gosh, how can you not want to play in this? And obviously we went down to there was a few different places we played, and you're like, geez, like this is crazy. Like, how could you not want to play in this? And 3,000 fans looks like 6,000 because they're right there on top of you, and it just feels like, oh my gosh, this is an environment that like needs this. And I think the league is going to do a great job of finding those little gems and making sure they actually make sense for for our league itself. But I do think the league is going to go in a positive direction. Obviously, the guys that are quote unquote in charge, which is all of the owners and the crew, they literally are competitive. Just knowing them, they want to compete on the national level, and they're going to get there in the next few years, I would imagine. And year by year. I mean, obviously, look, whenever this thing switched over to us, it became more competitive. Like last year, I felt like when all the teams, whatever that happened, and they ended up with Omaha and Sioux City in the championship game. I think that was one of the best things that can possibly ever happen for this league. I mean, the game was crazy, and it was a championship experience, a championship environment. Everything about it was, oh my gosh, if this league can get to this type of game, championship game, and specifically talking, like, that's crazy. Like you'll never see that again. I won't say never, but you probably won't see that again. That was one of the ones that, like, you sit back and you look and you're like, geez, 47-46 overtime game. Wow. A championship game. And now, and you say that league has a stain on it. No, that league is going to do it the right way. That league is going to find a way to put the right people in position to be successful. I believe West Texas is going to be successful. I believe there's some more teams coming with a different market that's going to be successful. And I believe there's going to be some more in-state rivalries and talking close. And if that happens, that's going to make our league so much better. It's going to make those conference games really mean something. So ultimately, I love the fact that we have a North and American. In my opinion, it's probably South and North. You probably get a few East teams blending in, but at the end of the day, they'll find out what's going to work geographically, and hopefully it'll work out. And at the end of the day, I mean, hopefully we become 2-11 against Omaha, or whatever, 2-13, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care, but obviously win our games and get to where we got to go to, because, be honest, we know we're not going to get to the championship now without going through Omaha. Like, that's just the way they're built. You're going to have to play them, and that's just that.
Man, Coach, I appreciate your honesty. It's been great having you on this morning. I would love to have you on again, and I look forward to seeing you guys kind of bounce back. Do you have any final message for the NAL world before you get off?
Good luck to everybody. Enjoy the off season. I'm most definitely going to enjoy mine. I mean, I know some people are ahead of the game, working and doing whatever they're supposed to do. We'll follow suit. Like I said, great luck to everybody. I do think that, like, the NAL is going to be well off. At the end of the day, people are people. People are going to have opinions, and those don't matter until action take place. Character about the NAL is, we're going to play the games. We're going to do what we got to do. Our accountability is there. Our trust is there. At the end of the day, we have partners in the community, each community that so value football. And prime example in Sioux City, we love our partners. We love everything about them. Just doesn't work without people, being negative, because they just inspire us to keep doing what we do. So I love feeling a little bit of hate for what we do. At the end of the day, I've been around it for 14 years, and I can tell you, in Sioux City, we've never missed a check. We've never missed a meal. We never had a problem with a hotel bill. We never had anything. So ultimately, follow our motto in Sioux City, do it the right way, and you'll have fun doing it.
He got a point. He does a lot with the youth as well. He runs part one of the big guys of the South Dakota Miners Youth Organization. They travel around the country playing. If you guys got youth teams that want to get some work, that's a quality program. Get out there and get some work from him. Build those kids up in South Dakota, because they get overlooked in the U.S. So, but they got some ballers.
Yeah, that's what I do for sure. I mean, I got a few different, life avenues that I take, but football is one of them. And obviously, I got a youth football program. This is our 11th year doing it as well. So I've made some connection with Coach B and some different connections around the places. And I've been all over and played, and my kids are ready to go anywhere and do whatever they got to do. I got some big news about to drop, Coach B. I'm about to do something different. You'll see it. It'll be. I got a meeting on Sunday with somebody, and we're gonna make some waves, and we're gonna make some stuff work.
I can't wait, bro. I'm
But yeah, Coach, have a good rest of your day, man. Enjoy your off season, and I look forward to chopping it up with you here soon, man.
Hey man, listen, I'm gonna get you a Bandits hat.
I bet I'll wear that. Just not on game day, man.
No. That's what you got to do. You got to make your mind up.
I mean, I committed to Omaha last year, when Coach McGrone joined, so I'm loyal to my boy.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, your contract is invalid after September 1st. You send me your address, I'll get you a hat September 2nd. You can sign with the Sioux City Bandits.
I appreciate
See
that.
what you guys got to do this year is be championship favorites with like 3 weeks to go, and then he'll be a fan.
Hey, I like it.
Nah, but I appreciate you, Coach, and I look forward to seeing you soon, man.
All right, boys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
So we're about to take a commercial break, and then we're going to welcome on our next guest, man. I'm excited about our next guy we got coming on, man. He's a baller, man. He's from the IFL, someone that we all know very well. He was second team All IFL last year in Duke City, and now he's currently with the Indy team. So excited to have him on, and so we'll take a 30-second commercial, and we'll get him right on. So he also played for the Omaha Beef and beat Sioux City 5 times, so that would be good.
That's crazy.
Get in the game at BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. Over 50 sports, live betting, online casino, horse racing, esports, and more. Start now and enjoy easy deposits, fastest payouts, and the biggest bonuses. And for over 25 years, BetUS is a name you can trust. Mention TV 150 now and get up to 150% in bonuses. BetUS, we've got your game. Call or visit BetUS.com now to join.
So, we got our next guest on, man, my boy Aaron Jackson, man. Good to see you. It's also good to be 2-0 against you this year. But nah, man, appreciate you coming on. How are you doing, man? How's everything in Indy?
Man, good morning. Good morning to y'all. Thank y'all for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be on the show once again. But everything's going good right now. We actually are in Iowa right now. We got a game in Iowa, so we got here in Des Moines. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Des Moines.
Des Moines? Okay. Sorry about that.
He said Des Moines. I like that.
Sorry about that. Wait, say it again for me.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines, Iowa. All right, yeah. So we're in Des Moines, Iowa right now. We got a game at the Wells Fargo Center tonight at 7:05 Central Time. So we're looking to keep the train going. We 2-0 right. We're on a 2-0 winning streak right now. So we're looking to go 3-0 again. We got to win out. Speaking of them Pirates, I need a favor from y'all today. I need a little favor from y'all. I need y'all to just take the day off and just, just chill. That's what I need from y'all today. You know what I'm saying? Let Tulsa get their little win in, and then after that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, give us a little chance. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to getting them off, trying to see what that's like.
Nah,
I agree with him. That can happen. That's fine.
Nah, anytime
That's
easy, man. It's too easy to beat. So I think we're like 5-1 against Marvin all time, man. So he doesn't really scare me.
Man, they got Casanova over there. That man, I'm so
and they got
confident in
Robinson
him.
too. They got Robinson
Yeah,
too.
dog from Beaumont.
Beaumont, yes.
Yeah. So I'm actually
we have Mass coming up. Let's get the MVP on our roster. Let's go.
yeah, like I don't know. Like I'm really interested to see like what they do as far as using both those quarterbacks, because I know Robinson, he's very athletic. You know what I'm saying? He's versatile, so he can do more than one thing. But Cashanova's a quarterback, so it's like you're not gonna put Casanova a receiver. running back. So like it's gonna be interesting to see how they use both of them. But I'm sure they're gonna figure out how they do that. And of course they got Rogers over there. They got Sauce, my guy Sauce over there, and he's a great athlete. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna be somewhere at receiver, running back, something like that. So they're a pretty good team. I mean, they got some guys over there. They got Drew over there. They're a pretty good team. I mean, I think when TJ getting hurt, I feel like that really kind of rocked him to the core a little bit. You know, TJ is like the heart and soul of that team. So, I mean, you hate to see that type of stuff happen, but I feel like that's what kind of happened with Tulsa. But I feel like they'll shake back. You know what I'm saying, tonight.
Yeah. Hey Ajax, I got them beating Mass tonight. I got
Yeah,
faith in I got faith in the OC and the two-headed monster at quarterback down there.
I do too. I do too. And I don't know. I'm not sure. I wonder if Meatball is playing, if Tez Carter is playing. If he's playing, I feel like that makes the game a little bit more interesting as well.
He got
But
cut. Cut this week.
oh, word, that's crazy,
Now he's a bit out of
man.
shape. I'm not really surprised, but
Yeah, he really didn't play against us. I think he played like two players against us, and then he ended up hurt. So I was just interested to see. I mean, I've always heard a lot about his name and stuff like that. So I've always been interested to see him play and stuff like this. I've never really got the chance to play against him, but I have seen a lot of film of him, and I am a fan of his game and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm interested. I want to see what they're gonna do with the running back situation. So that might seem like Sauce might step right into that running back situation with the two quarterbacks coming in. So that makes sense. You know, I feel like their offense don't miss a beat or anything like that. And their defense is pretty much wet and wet, but I mean, Maz, you know, they got my guy Tino over there. He's a very good OC. He understands the game. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to get his guys open. I mean, then it helps that you got a good receiving core. Like, you know, you got Zico. I mean, he's hurt right now, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back. You got Theo, and you got another guy that I actually have on my ultimate team, which is crazy to me. Like, I always think it's fun for me, like, to be able to play against guys that I've watched or I've seen on TV or something like that. Yeah, I have Stephen McBride over there. He was on my ultimate team on college football. So I'm looking through the transaction one day. They're like, yeah, they got a guy named Stephen McBride at receiver. I'm like, that name sound familiar. I'm like Stephen McBride, yeah, from where? He like from Hawaii. I'm like, the receiver? He like, yeah. I'm like, nah, bro. I got to do it on the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think stuff like that is cool, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all have a really good receiving core over there. Y'all got Puka at the running back. You know, I got a good quarterback. I mean, y'all very well coached, and y'all very well talented. So it's gonna be a good game nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? But I hope Tulsa can figure it out, you know.
I did want to ask you though. A report came out this week. I know, whatever, you kind of try to ignore the noise, but I gotta
Mm.
ask, like, how crazy was that, and what leader Dixon you in, like, behind the scenes?
Oh, with the whole entire situation.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, yeah, that was crazy. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's a business, and that's one thing that I really learned throughout this season, that you can't really take things personal, and you got to always understand that when somebody's in a position of business, of a bit of a powerful thing, and with business, they gotta do what's best for the business, and it's never gonna be personal. They're gonna make sure that they do what's best for the team and the organization and the community and stuff like that. So, I mean, you got to understand it from that point of view. You know what I'm saying? And if you can, then you'll be able to move past how you feel, and you'll be able to understand the message. And I feel like that's just what it was. Or it could have been, he could have said something that it could have been taken the wrong way. But when that's why, saying, you don't go venting to other people about how you feel and stuff like that, because they don't know how you feel, and they can't depict how you feel the right way, in the correct manner. But nah, Dixie's a great guy. Like, I mean, as a coach, you know what I'm saying, he's very intense, I would say. If you know him, you know what I mean. But he's very intense, but he understands the game and stuff, and he knows what he wants to see, and that's why he's so intense, because what he wants to see is normally the way to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like these last few games that we've been playing, we've been really picturing and depicting exactly like what he wants to see from our defense, and it's really been shown in the results of how we play against teams and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, Dixie's a great guy. I mean, like I love Dixie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not just saying that because he's my coach. You know what I'm saying, or anything like that. Because I'm gonna keep it a stat. You know, if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I like Dixie, you know what I'm saying, because he keep it real with you. He not gonna shoot you no BS. He gonna keep it a stack with you, and he gonna make sure that he at least try to put you in a position to better your situation. Like he ain't never. I don't see no guys that got RTR. I mean, that's guys in the left and stuff like that. I mean, and he ain't did nothing that's bogus to him. You know what I'm saying? He still didn't gave him opportunity to do everything the right way and stuff like that. So he a good dude, man. I don't see no ill will in that. You know, so I feel like that was a bunch of clickbait, like some cloud chasing going on. But you gotta move past that and keep it in the past. But it was funny while it lasted, though. We did laugh about it for about a day or two. But now we're trying to get past it now.
Y'all finally signed, I feel like, your franchise quarterback, in my opinion, Felix Harper. Talk about kind of the leadership my boy kind of brings and how excited you are to have him.
Oh man, two great, two different, two a leader. I like to talk like that because he remind me of Deion Sanders' son a little bit. But nah, man, he a real cool dude. He's very humble, you know what I'm saying, very down to earth, and he really understands the game, and he's really technique sound. You know what I'm saying? I really admired his approach to the game, and also one of the things that I really do like about him, because we do have this in common, he's left-handed like me. You know what I'm saying? So he has a different spin to the ball. He has a different flair. He plays the game a little bit different. He moves different. Oh, you left-handed too? Shout out to left-handers, man. Like we move different. It's harder to guard us and harder to see where we're gonna go because we think differently. We think opposite of how you right-handers think. But yeah, I mean, like just the way he approached the game, you know what I'm saying? He's really a student of the game, and he really embodies the role of being a QB1. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's one of the reasons why when Dixie had the opportunity to grab him, it was like, why not grab somebody that know your system? He knows how you want your plays ran. He knows the timing. He understands what the defense is trying to do to him. He gets it. You know what I'm saying? His clock is there. Why not? No, that seems like almost too easy. So that was a no-brainer. I'm very excited about Fee. We call him Fee. I'm not sure if y'all call him Fee too, but we call him Fee. But very excited about him. I mean, as y'all seen against Tulsa, like y'all seen the spin move he had. The spin move was crazy. Like he pulled that out. He pulled that out of his bag out of nowhere. I didn't know he had that in the bag, but I'm very impressed with him. I can't wait to see more. I'm pretty sure today he really gonna light it up today. I mean, we're playing Iowa. No disrespect to him. You know what I'm saying?
Hey
You know
Jack,
what I'm
do
saying?
you feel it was a calculated move, and do you feel like he is the guy to get you over the hump and back to the playoffs where y'all need to be?
I mean, I feel like. I mean, a lot of guys talk around the league, so I'm sure it didn't come out of nowhere. I wouldn't say that. So to say it was a calculated move, I mean, I could say that could be a little accurate, or something that was already wanted to, what I'm saying, something that you already wanted, and then it came a chance for you to be able to get it, and it was like, okay, like I'm quick to get on it. So I think that's more what it was, because like, I mean, Fee. I mean, I've seen some film of Fee. You know, what I'm saying at Bay Area and stuff like that, and I've seen a couple of games uh, of Mass and stuff like that. So I know he had some game, but I never just seen him just be where the bullets is flying and stuff like that. So what I'm saying, once I seen that, I knew I was like, okay, coach knew something that I didn't know. You know what I'm saying, which made me know, okay, well he already understood what he really wanted. This is what he wanted all along. You know what I'm saying, but he ended up going a different direction in the first place. But this is what he really wanted. Now he has the opportunity to do that, and that's what he decided to do. And I can say I'm content with what he doing, because I feel like if he gonna take care of the ball, he gonna hit the right receiver, he gonna make the right reads, he gonna just take care of the ball overall. And that's what we need. I feel like that was what really killed us a lot during our season was just turnovers. I mean, if you look at all of our games, I mean we're in every single game, but if you look at the box score, we got 3, 4 more turnovers than our opponent. And you can't win like that. My high school coach, Bill Barron, used to always say, whoever wins the kicking game and turnover battle gonna win the game. And he ain't never lied. He ain't lied yet. Every time I look at a game and I be like, dang, they lost a close game, I go look at the box score. I go look at the turnovers and I go look at the kicking game. Who won? Who made more field goals or who missed more PATs and who had more turnovers? And every time, the person that lost had more turnovers. They missed more PATs. They missed more field goals. It never failed. So I feel like that was one of the things that really just killed us a lot was just the turnovers and yeah, just the turnovers. Yeah, 'cause we have a dang good defense. I mean, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on it. We have a pretty dang good defense. If you look at the stats, if you look at the leaderboards, we up there pretty high, probably like top 5 or number 6, something like that. We up there, so that tells a little story in itself too. But like I said, Fee gon' regulate a lot of that stuff, and he's gonna allow us to be able to reach our potential. I feel.
No, I'm definitely glad, we can help build your roster for you. I think you have like 4 of our former guys. So I always love to see us, helping other teams in the league. But I think Aaron, for you, like I know it's early. Are you anticipating a return to Indy in 2026?
Um, we haven't even started talking about that yet. But I mean, if I had to answer right now, I mean, to be honest, I really enjoy Indy. First of all, let me say that I really enjoy Indy. I mean, the organization in itself. I mean, they take care of you. I feel like this is probably the best organization in the league. I mean, you probably got Vegas and stuff like that, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I feel like this is probably the best organization in the league, and it's the first year running. And I feel like since it's only this first year running, I feel like it only gonna get better. Um, I like the coaching staff. I like everything about Indiana. I mean, if we can get a couple of guys back, I mean, I definitely think about it for sure. I mean, if we could definitely get a couple of guys back, but that's just depending on who comes in and stuff like that. Because I mean, I like the group of guys that I'm with. I mean, I feel like if we can run it back, that'll be possible. I will enjoy that. But if we're gonna have bits and pieces missing, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough because we really built the bond. So I really got close with these guys and I mean, we really haven't shared no close experiences, but we just enjoy each other's time, and we always laughing and joking around. Like we be having Dixie laughing and joking around and stuff like that. So like it's just a cool time, and we have good chemistry. So I feel like if we just stick together or something like that, and then maybe we can do something. But we're gonna hope that we can get in them playoffs right now. Cause I'm telling you, we get in them playoffs, y'all in trouble. I'm telling y'all, we didn't figure it out.
I believe so as well. I think Fishers was built very, very well this year and just had some setbacks early on. And now we finally see you guys catching speed. So hopefully everything works out and we see you in the playoffs here shortly. But thank you so much for joining us today, Aaron. How's the season gone so far in Indy? I mean, what's it like playing at what your home, right?
Yeah, well, we're in Iowa right now. We have a game at the Wells Fargo Center, which is gonna be like one of the last times they play there.
Correction, Ajax. Correction. That's the Casey
Oh,
Center
it's
now.
they already changed it. Dang, that's crazy. Oh well, playing ain't in the KC arena, but nah, yeah, I mean, but it's man playing in Indy though, playing inside the Fisher Event Center. That's probably the most craziest thing. Like y'all really have to experience that. Like the fans, they don't even care about the result. They just in there to just go crazy. Like they be in there banging on the wall. They got all kind of noisemakers, like stuff that I ain't even heard. Like it's stuff I can't even describe, but it's really noisy. Like, and they just be having a good time, really enjoying themselves. And yeah, y'all know me. Like, I like to interact with the fans and all that other stuff. So I really enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like it's no other environment like it. I feel like the only environment I've played in this season that's matched our environment was Jacksonville, and Jacksonville that felt like I was playing like an HBCU game or something like that. I was like, they was playing like line music and all kinds of stuff. I was like, man, this is kind of crazy, but I enjoyed that environment, of course. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't get the win in that one either. But that's neither here or there. But playing in Indiana, I love playing in Indiana because I really feel like they've been wanting a football team like a football team in this area. Even though they got the Colts, they be wanting to watch football like year round. It seems because we be pulling in at least 5,500 fans on our games and stuff like that. So they be wanting to watch football, even though Indiana is considered a basketball state. You know, but I mean, I don't mean to put quotation marks, but yeah, that's what they say. They say Indiana's known for basketball. It's the mecca of basketball. But it seems like they love them some football because they be out there really going crazy. Fans be having your jersey on. Like I got a couple of people that just man, the love is crazy. I love it.
That's awesome. Glad to hear it, man. I know you were pretty excited before the season when I talked to you about signing with Fishers, and their setup looks amazing. So I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying things out there and everything's going really well for you and they're taking care of you guys. Because, like I said, honestly, it's been a lot of fun following them since the beginning of the season. If every team launched and looked like Fishers did, we'd be in a lot better shape with indoor football. That's
Man. And can I say another thing?
Yeah.
Shout out to our media team. Our media team is like, I feel like we have the best media team in the league. I mean, aside from I think Barry, they have pretty good media team. They do a good job. But our production team, like our commentators, our legit camera people, like shout out to all 3-4 of them. They really put in a lot of hard work and they put a lot of thought in and they use relativity, like they relate to us when they do certain things. Like they just had us do a little challenge. It was like the little drill where there was like the little flow state thing. They just had us do that like a few days ago, and it's just like little cool stuff to interact and like just do little cool stuff to get content out there and get a good following and stuff like that. So shout out to them too as well. I want to make sure they get some shine too because they don't never really get the recognition.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron, I really appreciate your time this morning and thank you so much for coming back on and discussing how everything's gone for you this season so far. Always enjoy keeping into contact with you since 2022 now, it seems like.
Yeah, we've been locked in for a minute now. It's good.
Yes, sir. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. Best of luck tonight in Iowa, and I hope everything goes well for you guys the rest of the way, and I hope we see you in the playoffs.
All right. Thank y'all for having me. You have a blessed day.
You as well.
All right.
All right. We're going to hit a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. We got a couple more things to talk about, and we have a very special guest that's about to come on from the AF1. So we will be right back with Bobby DeVoursney. Hopefully I've pronounced his last name correctly. We will find out here shortly. Good morning, sir. How's it going today?
Guys, thanks for having me. Doing good. How about yourselves?
Absolutely. The pleasure is all ours. Did I pronounce your last name right?
You nailed it. You nailed it. And I always say phonetically, it's divorce me. Without the me, it said me instead. So I didn't even have to tell you that. So that was good.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. So you guys had an amazing season in Nashville this year. Let's just kind of, do a general rundown. I mean, how do you feel it went for you guys start to finish the season?
It was a tall task for us. We had a lot of, accelerated time frame off the start, so we were kind of didn't know what to expect. I had a great team that was put in place, and I already had Greg Pogue and Jeff Fisher already behind, kind of the vision that I had set out when we met back in January, and everything kind of fell into place. We packed the television side, or the hero side, as I call it, for the first game at Municipal, which is only 3 weeks after our training camp started, and we picked the team up as training camp started. So and attendance just grew from there. The brand obviously grew from there. We had an exceptional year in the public eye. I feel going internationally. Twice with our news, a couple of news breaks that we had, and even switching cities and playing a playoff game last minute. We had a great year, and by no metric can I say that we failed in any regard. I mean, we really put our nose to the grindstone and just didn't stop until 2 weeks ago, when unfortunately we came up 3 points short to my new nemesis. But we'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
I'm definitely sure there's more time for that. Krish, do you have anything for DeVoursney here?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on. I think my main question for you is, your coaching staff, right? I mean, so diverse. I mean, Coach Arvette, Coach AP, my boy, Coach Foster. Do you anticipate anyone from your staff getting any interviews to be head coaches? And how much of the staff do you expect to come back in 2026?
Luckily we have our bet already signed up for next year. So, as you said, it's some great guys, in Peyton, Coach Carey, Coach Terry. We had a great year, all around. From the coaching side, obviously we put together the group. When everybody had a chance to grab who they wanted to grab, we didn't really have that chance. So when Darren came in and he put together that group that went and played Southwest Kansas in our accelerated time, that week 0, they literally came from training camp that Friday morning and put them on a plane that Friday night to go play that first game. And we put up a good show down there. It took us a couple weeks to right the ship, but I mean, Darren had it all in charge the whole time. He doesn't play around, and I love that about him, because I'm not a play around kind of guy either. Shoots it to you straight, and that's what we really needed to have this year, especially with the accelerated time frame. So all the boys were great. I know that we had a great season, looking at it from a 30,000-foot perspective, but we're all competitors in this league, and we all want to win. So to come up that short at the last game of the year, I know they all need a great pat on the back, but I know they're all anxious for next year. So hopefully we'll be able to bring them all back. But obviously they did a great job. So I can't hide the fact that they'll probably be wanted by some other teams. So we'll try to retain as many as we can, I'm sure. Yeah, they're great guys. I mean, I was so great to work with them. You said it right on the head. They're your guys, Krish, and I see why.
TJ, do you have anything for him?
Yeah, with how well you guys did right out of the gate, this being the first year of the league, where do you see the AF1 being in, say, 3 to 5 years from now? Do you see a large amount of growth with teams and competition, stuff like that, or do you see more of a slow growth mentality?
Yeah, I see. So this is the first year for this league. Obviously, Fisher and the boys had a couple issues to deal with last year with some things that were out of their control a little bit higher. Now that it's in, the right group's hands, the football group hands, I'm doing whatever I can to help the league, and I'm a league first guy. So if I'm say the Cats are on the team of the league, but in the off season I'm on the league's team. So whatever I can do to help the league. In the meantime, we have I signed Michael Waltrip to our group here at the end of the year, and we have a big event with him at the end of this month, which offline I'm happy to invite you guys to. It's the Bristol Sunshine Fest over in Bristol, Tennessee on the 26th, and Michael's gonna be there wearing the Cats jersey around. It's a big charity event, and we're really trying to push. The viability is kind of disappearing from arena football in the AF1. We're going to be a very stable league. Met with some new owners that are coming in next year. I know that there's some big announcements coming out from them. I'm not going to speak out of turn, but the AF1 is going to be, trying to stay in the public eye here and say that we're here to stay. And I think there's so much competition between about three leagues in this great sport that you guys have called home much longer than I have, only being in it about 5 years and being the dark horse. I'm sure you never heard my name until this year, which I'm happy to say was by design. But I kind of want to be the dark horse in this and just kind of come in and say, hey, let's look at this from a business perspective and say, what can we do to actually grow the sport itself? Because at that point, we'll get a lot more of the bigger television contracts, the bigger players, the not so far competition level between the last team and the top team, to your point, and it makes it a better sport. It makes it, I mean, for all the leagues down the line, it just grows everybody all together. So, I'm in this to try to do this together with whoever wants to grow the sport. Obviously, the AF1 is where we live. The Nashville Cats is my family, and I want them to succeed first and foremost. But I really want the sport to grow because that's how we're going to really make an impact in this sports world with arena football.
Love to hear that. Coach B, you got anything?
First off, I want to take my hat off to you guys in Nashville. I always say you and Albany set the standard for AFL, AF1 last year and this year. When I was in Iowa, my goal was to be just as good as you guys when I was the head coach and GM down there. I wanted to do everything like you guys. Y'all did it the right way as a first year program, the way you came out with your media, your marketing, your community engagement. I always say y'all do it the right way. My question would be, I see you added a lot to your ownership group. Is that going to be more added to your ownership group? And is that going to relay across the board with other AF1 teams getting big time owners coming in? And my last part of that question is, I've been hearing something about St. Louis. Is that a possibility for a new market?
All right. I'll take the ownership one first. We are open and have been entertaining a lot of people to join in. These are, obviously myself and Greg Pogue, we run the day to day. These are more consultant roles, and I've always thought that the sport itself, arena football, carries so much weight that isn't being utilized in that community. And we were lucky enough that when we're playing in Clarksville, Michael Waltrip has a 3-story bar right across the street, and a brewing company that does a lot of branding. So we were able to cross brand a deal there, and he took so much interest that he wanted to come in as a partner as well. So he's been doing a lot of active stuff there, and I anticipate you'll see a lot more of that from our side. And then we're also trying to take our model that we've kind of brought some of these guys in with and bring it to the other teams. I've invited them all to the Sunshine Fest to meet Waltrip and some of his guys at the end of July here, and to try to grow all the teams. And we had our league meetings during the championship. Obviously, I was busy with some game day stuff, but I was able to meet with some of the other owners and kind of tell them how we did it, what we're doing, and they've reached out to me individually. So yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of, and not saying that we're doing this to just do a public stunt or whatever, but we're really trying to grow the interest from that top level where it's kind of getting missed. But there's so much of an interest there, and the athletics it's a club, it's a fraternity that we're all in to be in this group of people that can sit here and talk about the sport, talk about people's lives that we're helping along the way on and off the field. And sometimes it just takes the opportunity to be presented in the right way for some of these guys to say, okay, well, let's take a chance on it and let's help some people out. I know, not to throw any names around, but Jelly Roll's a great fit for us. We've kind of been courting him a little bit, and there's a lot of people in that way that have taken interest in what we're doing here. So I'll say that, and as far as the St. Louis market, I'm not going to speak out of turn. I'm not one of those guys. I am on the team of the AF1, but they are my leaders, so I let them break any news that's coming out in the way that they want to break it. But I will say that Jerry is on the road the next couple of weeks, entertaining and getting things right with our new expansion teams, and they will be released here in the near term, sooner than you think for one or two of them, I think. So. But it's exciting, man. It's exciting. The AF1, as you said, it's in their first season, and to have the success that we had personally, and to see that top level, kind of grow from where we started the year to where we ended the year. There's a lot of potential here that I'm loving being a part of the AF1 right now, and the people that we have involved is just going to grow from here.
Absolutely. Nice little nugget there as far as the jelly roll potential addition. That could definitely be interesting. I mean, obviously, it's been inspiring how you guys have added to the ownership group this season with John Gruden coming in and Michael Waltrip as well. It's been interesting to follow along and see what you guys have been able to accomplish. But I wanted to shift gears a little bit and talk about your venue. I know there's some discussion about possibly moving to Clarksville full time. Can you shed any light on that decision for us?
Yeah, I mean, so as you guys all saw, we had a great turnout in Nashville. Our third game, we played 3 in Nashville this year. We ended up playing 2 in Clarksville. It was designed to only play 1 up there. There's pros and cons to either way. I like the fact that one of our investors, Chuck McDowell, last year, he really turned the downtown arena, municipal arena in Nashville, into our arena. That it has Nashville Cats on the outside exterior, and on the inside, it looks like our home arena. But it comes with some challenges. It's a very old venue, and we have to spend an arm and a leg with our rental equipment to make it a good show for our fans, which is ultimately who we're there for. In Clarksville, the competition in Nashville is more intense than in Clarksville when it comes to sports leagues, and Clarksville is begging for something like this. So it is very, very difficult decision. We've had so much support from Clarksville, in particular, from some very big decision makers in the town, and as you know, that does not hurt to have on your side going into some tough times, and arena football kind of goes in ebbs and flows. So we never know what's going to come next for us. However, I have been spending quite a bit of time in Clarksville personally recently, and as you know, one of our ownership partners now has a bar that's right next door to the Clarksville Arena. It was only built 2 years ago, so it has all brand new AV equipment. It costs less. It's just a matter of what's going to be best for our players. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I care about the players. I care about the coaches. I got into this to give people a chance at at their dream. Sports really helped me along my journey. I never would have made it through school without being athletic. So ultimately, it'll come down to what's best for the players and the coaching staff. So we just got to do a couple more things, and then hopefully we'll be able to roll that out. And see what comes of it. What do you guys think? What you've been in this market, following the Cats, following all these other teams so far? I'm sure you've watched either game. Which one do you like? Which venue do you like better on TV?
I have to say the support in
Honestly,
Clarksville looked pretty promising. So
I would go with both of them. I like how you utilize both of them. So it would be beneficial to do both places because now you got a bigger fan base and a bigger market.
Yeah, we're gonna try. I mean, we're Nashville Cats, and then they've been around for so long, and they're such an iconic brand in Nashville, and in the. I mean, we wouldn't be in Clarksville if they hadn't heard about the Nashville Cats. So we always want to keep them Nashville at heart. So I don't see us moving completely out of Nashville. Maybe a 50-50, maybe a 75-25, one way or the other, is what it'll end up being this next year, and then we'll play it by year after that. But we've had an enormous amount, and I haven't even told my partners, Greg Pogue and Fisher, this yet, but we've had an enormous amount of support from Clarksville as far as the season ticket inquiries wise. We launched a couple things in the market afterwards, and we launched a couple things in the national market. And you can call it a survey, you can call it a test subject, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, I put it out there to see which one would lead the charge on season tickets, and ultimately that would lead the charge on our fan base. So Nashville's got to step it up a little bit. I will say that. If that
I
gives you
love
any
that.
insight.
TJ, do you have anything for Mr. DeVoursney?
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit earlier. You guys are kind of doing the throwback arena football thing with the high-profile ownership coming in. You already have one brother. Are you thinking about bringing Jay Gruden back to the arena football world?
Anything is on the table. Mr. Gruden, is very excited about what we're doing here. We trended internationally twice this year, and he's got a content-based brand now. So I think anybody that's jumping on with us is in the right place at the right time. And if we want to get the brothers involved, that would be a great lead into next season. An announcement, maybe get them in a game. But what we look for first and foremost is passion. We look for second is strength in what they can bring to the table. Both John Gruden and Michael Waltrip we added because they wanted to be a part of this, not just in name, but to actually make a difference in people's lives, and they love the sport. So anybody that loves the sport is in my book. I was willing to have a conversation about how we can get them involved. And if not with us, definitely there's room in the AF1 for anybody. And to take your previous statement and say the old school approach of putting some big names in. It's a shame that this sport didn't make it past, well, the AFL, the old AFL didn't make it past, 2007 or whatever it was, because it kind of missed that content era. The brands now are not just name only. The brands now are followings. I mean, one of the things that I did right off the bat is I put an influencer in here and asked her, one of her jobs was to bring other influencers, reach out to other influencers and bring them to the game so that they would get the interaction. They would see how cool it is, and then they'd stream it out or put it on their stories or whatever. So we did that, and we had over 8 million engagements on our social media this year, which absolutely blew any other numbers away. In 16 weeks we did that. So the hidden numbers here are staggering from what we did, and it's just a matter, after a long season, everybody's tired, and I've been putting some stuff together, but we really need to get everybody together and just say, hey, in this off season, there's no off season. It's a content creation session, and we need to get as much exposure for you guys doing this. And thank you for allowing us to have a platform to talk about what we're doing, and not just us, but the players and myself from a different level and a different kind of eyeball on what's going on, not just on the field, but to show what we're doing as a whole to grow the brand. Because today it's just about branding. It's about how you market yourselves. We honored a company, family called the Kelly family in Clarksville. They have like 6 million YouTube followers. They have 1 million on Twitch, and the guy that had 1 million on Twitch, he literally twitched our entire games from the boards, and we just go around in fans' faces and stuff like that. And I really believe that that's kind of where we need to bring this. And if we can get some brands, like Michael Waltrip, John Gruden, say behind, some of this stuff, it only increases that metric that I'm trying to achieve with more eyes on, more people in, more excitement about the sport. So
Love it.
Awesome.
TJ, I know you have to get out of here, man. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Have a great rest of your day. Krish, you have a question, I imagine?
Yeah, I had a ball being at media day for the AF1. I love how professional it looked. It felt like old arena football. My question for you is, when you look at the production value, do you expect changes back to the original AFL style, Iron Man, all those rules? And my second question is, when do you anticipate free agency beginning for the league?
yeah, I'll start with the free agency. We had some meetings afterwards. one of our QB1 is playing tonight. Sam Cashnova got signed yesterday, I believe, or the day before. So I'm not sure when the free agency is planning on officially starting from the league level. I know that there are certain deals being made, behind the scenes. I know, whatever the coaches can do in the meantime to help their players, to help the Cats is being done. Let's just say that. And the AF1 can set the terms on what's right, what's wrong there. And then your first question was on the production, right? What was it for?
Yes, like return to old style AFL rules.
Yeah. So I'm a hockey player by nature. I love the physicality. I don't like the new rules or the protection rules. I think it's right that we protect our players, that we do this, that, and the other. But I'm also a proponent of let the kids play the game. The tush push kind of got removed from our league in the middle of the season this year. I know why Jeff did it, and that's fine. What I would like to see as far as the rules changing, and to your point, Chris, I'm not the decision maker on that. I would like to see it as physical as possible without, getting flagrant. I mean, I think there's a place for fighting in hockey, but not in this game. So I don't want to see anything get out of hand or anything like that, but I do want to see a good competitive game where people aren't afraid to kind of do their thing and ball out and make the pancake hits, this, that, and the other, and not get reprimanded for a good tackle or an aggressive tackle or whatever. But I would like to see kind of a little bit more stoppage in the clock and I know we do the 1 minute stoppage at the end of the half and the end of the game. I would like to see that maybe, every quarter, the last minute of stoppage, because there's a lot of runoff. I saw a stat one time that said, NFL game is X number of minutes, and this is X number of minutes of action. Hockey is, X number of minutes, and it's X number of minutes played or action. So for the viewing standpoint, which ultimately drives our numbers up, I'd like to see a little bit more action time versus stoppage time, or versus, just kind of meandering time. So what that looks like, I don't know. But that's where I'd like to see kind of some things change.
That's a great point. Coach B, do you have anything else?
Hit everything on point, man. He was on point with it. Like every question I asked, he already answered. So the only thing I would say is, you look at Albany and Nashville as the model for future arena teams, not just AF1, but for future arena teams, how it's done. As far as I talked about with a lot of people, marketing and branding is everything in arena football, because that's how you're going to get your money. And I don't think a lot of owners and people realize that. But when you send the influencers you brung in and you did the research, you're in the right direction. That's going to help build arena indoor football for years to come.
Yeah, and what's hard about that is, I had to set the tone, and everybody kind of questions the tone setter, right? So even from within my own organization, I still right now I'm trying to justify why I did it and what I did, and the metrics that drive it, and how it correlates to butts and seats. But today, that's kind of the old school mindset, which you have to have. You have to have the butts and seats, but you also have to drive the brand. And the brand today is content, right? So I appreciate you saying that. And it has been kind of a fighting battle for me to have that piece in place. But it gives you live metrics. Like we did a lot of radio spots and this, that, and the other, which is great. And it reaches some incredible sports people, this, that, and the other. But I'm a big analytic driven person. And as far as when it comes down to the other ownerships and other teams, I can show them the success that we had from where the brand was 18 weeks ago, as far as content driven engagements, to directly to today, and I can show them along the way which videos had more engagements, and we can correlate why it did that, and we can start tailoring our efforts and our time to replicating some of those videos that had those great engagements, and say what's different about this video versus the one we did 3 hours or the day before. Is it a timing thing, or can we correlate this video with another one of our hot videos where we did a certain interview or asked a certain question or whatever? And we can kind of see those numbers in real time, which makes us very effective as an organization. It makes our money very effective as far as use, and it cuts out a lot of that waste, time and efforts and treasure that really comes important at the end of the season, especially with us making it to the championship and having to play a last minute home game, which thankfully from my side, I was hoping Salina would beat Southwest Kansas and put them in our boat. So we had the CEO of the Predators, Nashville Predators, CEO of Bridgestone, and a couple of decision makers for the Clarksville Arena out on the concourse in the fourth quarter. And I approached them and I said, "Hey, we're not going to know if we have another home game until late tomorrow night. We have our setup crew scheduled to come in here in about 20 minutes when this game's over. Can we work out a deal to keep our field down to save us some money? We'll commit to playing the playoff game here if it happens next week, if you allow us to keep our field down until Monday." And then they're like, "Yeah, and if you do have to play it, you can keep it down all week, and we're not going to charge you or anything." So that's kind of what Nashville's competing against. That's kind of the opportunities. I don't stop working during the games. A lot of owners don't see. They have the old school mindset where it correlates to getting sports fans to come out to the game and see this, that, and the other. But there's so much more to it than that. And coming into this from a business perspective, I've been in business several years, and I was hoping everybody asked me where I'm from, how did you get into this, because no one knows anything about me. And I always say I'm from a small beach town in Michigan, and I actually happen to be in my small beach town in Michigan. Everybody looks like I'm crazy, so this isn't a background. This is really where I'm from. So this is what it looks like where I'm from. But I actually have more fun in arenas than sitting out here looking at this view. So I'm all about getting the content driven up there, however we got to do it. I think that the owners need to realize that this is a emerging brand that they're leading, not just a football team, and we need to correlate our efforts as such, and take some of the efforts that are going into on the field stuff and put somebody in place to put those same efforts off the field. Which is what I'm trying to do both. So we got a great brand going on and off the field. As you know, Darren covered our butts on the field with a great team. Shout out to my boys Antoine Grant and Jackson and Thorpe and Tyler Kolka, who's playing tonight for another team. And we hate to see him playing for another team, but wish him the best. And he balled out last week. I think he had like 6 touchdowns, and he got signed the day before. It's great to see these guys succeed, and that's what really ultimately puts us, in a great position to move their brand forward along with ours at the same time. But we gotta look to the future of branding and not just stay in the past as well.
Well, you prefaced my next question. I was going to ask you, how did you initially get involved with arena football? Was it with the Cats or?
No, so this is a good story. So I was an actor in Nashville from 2015 to 2019 when I got asked by a friend who has a sports TV show, Sports Prospects Perspective. And Reggie Clay, he's one of my best buddies. He asked me to come on there and interview these guys who were trying to bring back arena football into Nashville. And I said, bring back? I never heard of arena football before. And I did my research and saw the Cats brand and had my questions ready. So after hearing their story, their mission about why people get into arena football, which is either, there's a lot of things that keep these players on the field. It's chasing dreams. It's going back to another life that they don't want to live. It's whatever it is. It was a mission to help people better themselves through sports, which is something that's near and dear to my heart. So after that interview was done, I kind of went to him. I said, "Hey, I'm doing some high profile stuff right now. Can I help you out with some PR stuff? However I can be a part of this mission that they're on, not just putting a team on the field, but they really prefaced, helping the players and giving them a place to shine." I did some PR work for them for about a month. They asked me at that point, they said, "You're asking some questions we never thought of." would you be interested in taking it over? So in 2020, January 2020, I quit everything I was doing. Started the Music City Fire with a great group of people in the AAL at that point. So we put it to the field against the West Michigan Ironmen on March the 6th of 2020, and we're shut down on the bus ride home. They announced the COVID shutdown for the 13th of March. So, obviously, I had just bought all the infrastructure myself, the field, the boards, the pads, everything, and it was a big hit to me. So I tried to keep it going, but obviously COVID just kept standing in our way. I went back and got my MBA because idle time and I don't do well together, and just I based my MBA program on diving into arena football. So I have a 107-page document that I created for my MBA program that kind of outlines how to do this, where to do it, where to focus, where the next years might be coming. And I had basically had a blueprint on how to do this. And I've just been sitting back waiting for the opportunity. I advised a investment group last year on the CADs and kind of sat back and waited. And Jeff and I met with Greg Pove in January, and we've just been running with it ever since. So I've been studying arena football for the last 5 years, but I have to say, the only other game that I attended in arena football before this year's first home game was the one we played on March the 6th of 2020.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
it's been a crazy ride. But luckily Jeff trusted what I had to say when we met. And you guys saw the results of the base of my plan. I mean, this is just the base of it. It's going to go crazy from here. So I really hope that some other teams jump on board with what we got going on, because it seems to be working. I mean, something seems to be going right. So,
Well, on that note, I mean, I don't want you to obviously give away any of your secrets or anything, but if another team was interested, would that playbook that you've created, the 117-page, recipe for success, you could call it, would that be something you'd be willing to share with other teams to help them get to the point where the Cats are at?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially the AF1 group that we have here, I would love to roll it out to as many people as possible. And then, obviously I want to help the sport. So I want to help every team grow that's in this sport. It's in the mission of helping these kids really shine and bring success to these coaches that deserve it, the players that work hard to keep their bodies tuned up to play as long as they can. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anybody that wants to talk to me, I'm very accessible, and there's a reason I got into this 5 years ago, and there's a reason I'm in it today. And it's not just success on the field; it's success for the school and the kids that want to do it. So,
I love that. Coach B, do you have any other questions for Mr. DeVoursney before we let him get out of here?
No, I'm just happy that he's out there. Is that Lake Michigan behind you?
it's like Michigan, yeah, it's Grand Haven Channel right here.
Yes, I love it. I played ball at U of M. I'm an alumni, Michigan alumni, Ann Arbor. So I already know
Nice.
when you said I kept looking back there. I said that's the most beautiful sight I've seen. I know it's familiar.
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, 3 months out of the year, Michigan is no better place. But then you don't want to be here to save your life. And then,
Yes.
Coach, I will say, you're a Michigan guy. Coach Izzo's got a house about 15 houses down from me right now.
Oh
From
wow.
Michigan. The Spartans. So this is Spartan Beach back here.
See, Bobby, I got welcomed to Michigan a whole different way. I came in January from
Oh
junior college
gosh.
from Coffeyville, and my first day on campus, it was a snow blizzard. And I woke
Uh-uh.
up at my apartment and I asked my roommate, I'm like, do we still go to school? Because in Kansas City, we wouldn't have went to school. He said, oh, this Michigan, you got to go to school. So I put on a full cargo jumpsuit and I was walking backwards because the wind was blowing so hard to every class. And they said, welcome
Man,
to Michigan, because get used to it.
I tell you what, I said I'm a hockey player and I love skating through high school, this, that, and the other. But once I got in that work world and I was driving to my office, thankfully this isn't where I work, but this is a very industrial town, as you know. and there's a bunch of warehouses with manufacturing, and there were 30-foot cutouts coming on the slope from those warehouses out, and there were cutouts for these little door pockets so people could get to their cars. And I'm like, ain't no way I'm living in a place where I could die from a snow avalanche coming out of my manufacturing job to get to my car. So I moved to Nashville in 2014 on a total whim, and it's been, I love Nashville. And you're right. I mean, I worked for a hospitality company, and they were like, "Do you need a room at the hotel during the 1 week of the snow that you get in Nashville a year?" I'm like, "No, why?" "Oh, you can't drive in this." I'm like, I'm flying past cops on the highway doing 55 in my SUV from Michigan, and they're doing like 20. I was like, "Yeah." So I get you, man, but I'm telling you, I moved because of that snow. Those tough months.
Appreciate you for having you on. Very informative. Me and Sam were just talking. We need that playbook. Pick your ear. Need to sit down whenever we can. But you're a great addition to the AF1. Nashville is too, and I appreciate everything you do.
Hey, thank you guys. Do a live podcast from Bristol at the Wall Trip event on the 26th, and I'll go through it with you all day long.
Awesome.
Just kidding.
Awesome.
No,
Appreciate it.
reach out to me, and I'd love to send it to you. I have a digital copy as well.
I definitely will be doing that, and I'm sure Coach B will as well. Thank you so much for your time today. It looks like you've got a beautiful beach behind you to go and enjoy, so we don't want to take up too much more of your time. But this was a really great conversation, and we would love to have you back on in the future at some point.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. And like I said, I truly, truly appreciate everything you do to give a platform to everybody that you have on your show and for the sport. I mean, it's truly a great sport, and it's going to grow. So thank you so much for taking the time to just hear what I had to say.
Absolutely. It sounds like you got a lot of great ideas that can be shared by a lot of people. So really appreciate your time today. Have a great rest of your day, sir, and nothing but success in your future.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. So once again, Bobby DeVoursney, the CEO of the Nashville Cats. We're going to hit a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back, do some closing thoughts, and then get out of here for the day. Really appreciate everybody who's tuning in. If you have not done so already, no matter where you're watching, make sure to hit the like button, comment, follow us. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe on YouTube. We are on the road to 2,500 subscribers, and I think we need every one of you guys to jump over there and subscribe today. So would really, really appreciate that. And we would get quite the jump at the moment because we've got quite a few people watching. Once again, appreciate the support, and we'll be right back.
This is Current. It's the card my parents used to pay me for mowing the lawn, running errands, and doing well in school. This is the card I used when we got the idea to make our own clothes. And we spread the word, drove downtown, and sold everything we made. This is the card I use to do the things that really matter. This is Current. Visit current.com and download the app for free today.
All right, looks like we got Krish back now. So Krish, I know you kind of missed a little bit of that segment there, but what are your final thoughts to kind of wrap everything up? And I missed it, but I assume you guys haven't done betting odds yet?
No, we haven't done the topics or the betting odds yet. No, I mean, look, I think Bobby DeVoursney, he's a great guy, and I'm really glad, I was able to get him on. I think these are the type of people we need in our industry. You see how well-spoken he is, how much of a business acumen he has, right? He's an outsider coming into this. So when you have an outsider coming into arena football, they can look at it from a fresh perspective rather than a preformed opinion. And so I think that's important. And so I think what they're doing in Nashville, they're becoming the standard really quickly. Next year, Nashville will be a top 2 organization, if they're not already, in the country. Just what they're doing and how they're building and the fan base and everything, the marketing, even player pay. I hear they pay their guys pretty good money. And so it's really good to hear that we have a new destination spot. So I think the AF1 is headed in the right direction as long as we can find more people like him.
Completely agree. No, that was well said on your part. I mean, I think we do need a fresh perspective, or at least somebody that has a happy medium between the old school approach and the new school approach. And if you listen to how Bobby was speaking, I mean, it really seems like he's got a good grasp on, that the elements of the old school approach that we need to continue using, and then still meshing that with the new school age that we live in today, where it's very digitally based, it's very modern. You need to be ahead of the times with the content creation and staying involved and relevant, throughout the off season. So I'm very excited to hear that, because I think, he joined the team last season and you saw what he did in 1 year, right? So if he can go ahead and continue that going forward, I think we're in for some interesting times ahead.
And he's a very personable individual. You see the way he carries himself.
Yeah.
You can see, that acting background, just the way he talks, how smooth he is, the way he moves. Even I was seeing him when I went to media day. I mean, he was interacting with everyone in a professional manner. And so that's not fake, what you just saw. It's like really real. Like, that's how he is. And so I appreciate him for that.
I love it.
I think you need guys like him and other people, like Ricky was saying. I remember Chris, you said Ricky goes to different seminars throughout the year. I think someone should host a business seminar for potential owners coming into arena indoor football and give them those aspects of the old way with the new way, and how to really build it up and what's going to be successful and what's not. And I think that's what we lack at right now in the industry.
Well, I mean, technically the AF1 did that this past season, and there was a lot to be made about those meetings that they had. That's when we started hearing things like the Dallas Bulls were coming to the AF1 and stuff like that. And honestly, I think a lot of news came out of those meetings last year that maybe shouldn't have at the time. And maybe it needs to tighten up a little bit as far as that goes. But I think that thought process that you just mentioned, having like a seminar where prospective owners or people who are already in the industry can get together and share ideas and do it in a manner where everybody can find their little niche and succeed together, is a good thing. Like we should be working together, not against each other, and even if you open that up, which I think you should open that up to owners that are not necessarily going to ever be in your league, I think you start to build a bridge and really kind of grow the sport. So I loved what Bobby said, because everything he mentioned was about growing the sport. It wasn't about, we need to attract attention away from this league or whatever. His focus is the bigger picture. And I think we need more people like that in the industry for sure. So I'm jazzed up. I came away from that conversation way more excited about the future for arena football than I already was. Because I know that he's going to be able to be involved in that seminar going forward. And maybe, he can help some of these prospective owners get a team off the ground and really kind of find success quick and move forward. But I actually wanted to mention some things about the Dallas Bulls and get your guys' opinions on them, because there's been some recent news coming out from them that they've hired some people as of late. In fact, just the past couple days, they've hired a creative services manager and brought in a front office intern, and they're also still looking for a corporate partnerships manager. So do you guys think that these are the kind of final moves or the necessary moves to get them to potentially being a professional team in 2026?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think they're going NAL. I think that's Ricky mentioned in his press conference in Amarillo that there's another team coming to Texas, Dallas. No, he didn't say Dallas. He said Texas. My bad. He said Texas. I believe that's what he said. And so the marketing behind the Bulls has NAL written all over it. And it would make sense. Dallas is close to Shreveport. It's close to Amarillo. So you could create a little division there. And so I think they're going to join the NAL.
I could see it. Coach?
And talking with Coach Mann, because he's still the GM, the head coach of the Bulls and co-owner. I think he always been saying from day one, even when he took the job with the Woo, that the Bulls is still on the rise. Be looking out for the Dallas Bulls.
I'm honestly glad to hear it because that was, like I just mentioned, one of the teams that went to that seminar. And honestly, I would, I would wonder how much of their changed their approach and bringing in these different positions was because of the stuff that they learned at that meeting and realized how important it is to have people in these positions. So I'm excited about the future for them as well. If they can get some more cash flowing, which is, the end all be all of this industry, then maybe we do see them make the jump to the professional level, whether it's NAL, AF1, regardless
I
where
don't
they
think
end
the
up.
cash flow, Sam, was the problem. I think with their situation, it's the arena. It's hard to get an arena down there because they had so many incidents the previous years with other teams not paying bills and fights and stuff like that. That those arenas in Dallas area, Fort Worth area, are not really what they say. They give you a go fu number for arena football because they don't want the hassle in their facilities. So if they get a stable arena, I think that's what solidifies them. Everything else, I think they pretty much got it tightened up.
You would certainly know on that front better than I would, because honestly, I just assumed it was a financial thing that was holding them back. But it would make sense. I mean, there's been quite a few teams that come and go through Dallas, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if that's a struggle there. I have heard that there are limited options in terms of arena out there. But honestly, like I said, another stable team. If that's what comes out of this, then that's a win for the industry as far as I'm concerned. Krish, any thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, like you said, another stable team. I mean, we'll probably talk about Beaumont later in the program, but I think we need to really make sure they're legit. I know Dallas Sports originally had someone involved from North Texas's front office. He was the GM, director of partnerships. He's in jail currently. So he was representing Amarillo last year in the NAL, and so when he went away, that whole organization kind of collapsed. I hope someone like that is never involved in arena football. And so I hope they really make sure the people they bring in are legit. I mean, Dallas is a hard market to operate. You're going to lose money in any market, but especially Dallas. Dallas is one of the highest, the most expensive. I mean, they had Tim Brown as an owner down there, and they couldn't make it. Think about how much money Tim Brown has laying around. So if you really think about it like that, it's risky, and so I hope they're ready. And so when I see the logo, it reminds me a lot of like semi-pro-ish, So I want them to train. If they're really serious about going pro, how are you going to change the rebrand? Similar to what Coach B said, it's important to rebrand your product at the end of the day, right?
That's fair. That's a fair point for sure. I know we've already done the IFL section, but we did not really spend a whole lot of time touching on that game last night, which, I mean,
No, I lost to Chris, man. I picked Vegas to win.
Well, that's fair. I mean, hey, honestly, it looked like they were gonna win at one point. So that was a heck of a game. It was a lot of fun to watch last night. Honestly, I was very, very surprised by the outcome and the decision late in the game. So I wanted to, I was actually looking forward to this morning because I wanted to get your perspective, Coach. I mean, would you have gone for 2 at the end of the game, or would you have kicked the extra point?
I would have kicked the extra point, man. Kick the extra point because we got the momentum and we running with the momentum. So kick the extra point and leave it up to my defense to do what they do.
Now, the other side of that decision that I really wanted to kind of touch on as well, they were going back and forth, 2-quarterback system the whole game, right? And they insert Jerome Johnson on the very last play of the game, which the announcer even said it. He had not been accurate passing throughout the game. Do you guys think that was the right decision? Chris, you were shaking your head.
Well, first of all, Coach Davis is my boy. Great talking to him, the past week. But I want to say thank you so much for going for 2 and missing. I'm so happy that Bay Area got the win because I'm not trying to face their starters the last week of the season. So I told all my boys, you can rest the week before the playoffs, and we can easily roll over the Bay Area when they come over. But no, Jaden Delora, man, oh my God, I think he's only thrown one interception so far in the IFL. So he's playing incredible. He's a Rookie of the Year candidate for sure. I just think sometimes as a coach, I love Coach B, saying let their defense do what their defense does. And what defense? You know what I mean? Like their defense is kind of, no offense to them, man. Their D-line's a liability at times. And their DB room is a liability. Cameron Bright, number 38. Cameron Bright, when I watch him play, he picks and chooses what plays he wants to play and take off. And so, when you have a guy like that out there, it's like, why not go for two? Ben Derby, late game Derby, man, that's like ice cold written all over it. So they were like, let's just go for two. Let's just win this game, get out of here. We have all the momentum. So I understand why they went for two. I wouldn't have gone for two. I would have kicked that extra point and went into overtime, because each team possesses the ball. And Axel Perez, he missed 2 drop kicks. 3 drop kicks throughout the game, right? So you force him, put pressure on him to miss. There's a lot that goes into it, man. Late game is hard. I think a lot of people overlook the late game situation. You're playing on a short week. You have to go up there. There's so much that goes into it. So I understand why he went for 2, honestly.
Do you think you go with a different quarterback in that situation if you do go for 2? And
Yeah.
why I say kick the field goal and let your defense do it, because now this is where you put the pressure on your playmakers on defense. This is what we pay you for. This is what you brought in for. If you can't get the job done, then it's time to go a different direction. Either put up or shut up.
I agree, but I think, when you say pay what? Like, I don't think there's any guys on that defense that are, paid, quote unquote. I think that defense is relatively balanced. It's not like,
They getting
whatever.
paid a check every week, right? To be a professional football player
I
and to
understand
do
that, but
their job
okay,
is to stop the
right.
offense. So we paying them.
I know, and that defense, again, I said it before, that defense is a little overrated, right? That defense is not what they're made out to be. They are overrated, right? But again, it's one of those things where I understand why he went for 2, because you don't trust defense. Defense gave up big plays all night. There was one play on 4th and 7, I think. Tomas was wide open, busted coverage. Maurice Jackson's all the way on the other side, right? He looks completely lost. And so it's hard. You got to understand, Coach B, we're in playoff time. It's Christmas time in the IFL, and we'll get into that later. But you got to take every present when you can get it. And they thought that was a gift. I would have put Delora in to finish out the game. But they trust Jerome. Jerome's a vet, and they thought he could make a play. So you can't really fault them for that, honestly.
I have to question if they actually trust Jerome. Yes, they put him in at the last point of the game, but there's a reason why Delora is starting in the first place, right? And I think that has to do a lot with their trust for Jerome in large situations. So, maybe they showed a little bit of faith this past game, but I still think that they've got some serious questions about Jerome as their starter. But real quick, for those fans at home that have not seen it, I took the liberty of clipping some plays before we got on here today. So I wanted to play 5 key plays that really kind of decided the end of the game, which I thought would be cool to look back on. So if you didn't catch the game, here's 5 key plays. It's about 2 minutes long. If it demonetizes the video, whatever, we're all friends here. So make sure to hit that like button. Help us get this video pushed out so we don't get banned. But here it is.
On the ground, but it's going to be his arm that's going to have to win it tonight.
Panthers have led for most of the night. Vegas clinging to the lead. Lobbing it for the corner of the end zone. And it is caught. Touchdown, Tyrese Chambers. And the Panthers reclaim the lead.
Whoa!
What a grab. Another highlight reel play from the Bay Area Panthers.
All right, so you saw the answer from the man himself right here. We went for 2 because the team wanted to, and I trust our guys. We wouldn't change anything, just for your information.
I wish y'all were in the East. I wish we played it.
Oh, Lord.
I swear.
Here we go. All right, we got a couple more plays for you guys. We're not quite done yet. Here was a huge play for Vegas, and honestly, one of the most exciting points of the game.
In the game right now, throwing the football.
On 4th down, Jerome Johnson will tuck it and run. Johnson cuts it back. Johnson has a first down out across the 20. On 4th and 17, gets the first down, and a timeout with 12 seconds to go.
I thought he was going to do that on the 3rd down play. That's why he's in the game.
Timeout Vegas. It's their 3rd and final of the half.
Still lots of time on the play clock. DeLora hangs in the pocket, now on the move. He's in trouble, he'll run. DeLora down the sideline, clock ticking down, and he puts it out of bounds inside the 15.
3rd time's a charm. This is what we live for.
Jane DeLora will launch it for the end zone, and it's tipped, and it's caught, touchdown Vegas! C.J. Wyndham Jr. catches it in the back of the end zone. Johnson will throw, and it's broken up, incomplete, and the Panthers have won.
All right, I'm sure that was tough for Mike Davis to relive as we were playing all the plays.
The receiver got held on that on the break right there. You didn't see his whole body even went down and went backwards.
You know what? We have the play. We'll watch it again.
Johnson will throw, and it's broken up, incomplete, and the Panthers have won.
See that?
His hand was on his hip. He kind of twisted his body.
Yeah.
You have a good point. Man, I don't know. That
was a good pass. So say that the receiver don't get touched, he out there break quicker, and that's 2-point conversions right there.
You have a good point. I mean, they're right up on the goal line, but that's a good point. He did twist.
I see this comment by Coach Davis too. We're not worried about anyone. You see this right here? We don't worry about anyone, man. They have to play us.
Hey, Coach Davis, man, let's go. Davis, they worried. I got Tulsa winning tonight. Sammy and Robinson, the 2-headed monster, ain't nothing that Manaz seen all year.
Hey, is that from 2021?
We have one from 2024, man. Eastern Conference champions, man. Stop playing.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
I do want to say, Sam, those helmets Vegas brung out last night were fire.
They look so good. I'm not gonna lie. That combination, jersey wise and helmet wise, it looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. Vegas is definitely another team that has the production side together. It's awesome to watch them play because it really looks like a professional football game, and I'll give that to them. Mike Davis says that looks like costume jewelry. Brandon Negron throwing some respect.
Those are real diamonds.
Love it.
Now. Those are real diamonds. Our ownership wouldn't do us wrong when it came to rings, man. I look at this every morning. It reminds me of how much hate and vitriol the industry has for us. But I love being the most hated team in the country.
Those are pretty shiny cubic zirconias.
I was going to say Chris needs to get that ring back to the guy who left it in the bathroom.
Look at these diamonds, man. They're real diamonds. Come on now. That's real ice.
Right. I'm just kidding. Jawad, if anybody would do it, Jawad would do it probably. So
I'll send you Davis a ring too after we win another one. So
okay, sounds good. I'll put it on display. I got a whole background here, a bunch of stuff. I would love to have it up. It'd be cool. On another note, we'll go ahead and transition over to the IFL betting odds for the rest of the weekend. to give you our locks of the week as of always. So in case you aren't aware, Krish here is a degenerate gambler. He spends his entire allowance every week on betting. So just kidding. But anyway, go ahead, Krish.
Yeah, I'm also the most accurate. So you're the most accurate. You can kind of spend.
You have a pretty good record.
Stop it, Chris.
I'm 125 and 65 all time, man, in my picks this year. So I am the most accurate in the industry. You know, they call me the young messiah for a reason. So anyway, San Antonio and Jacksonville, man. A lot of people don't understand. This is a revenge game for Coach Fuller. You know, he's coming back home where he once coached, where he once helped build the championship program. Naquan Murray is from Jacksonville, FSU legend. This, to me, has revenge written all over it for Naquan and Coach Fuller. I like San Antonio plus 13.5. Man, this is wild. We have the same record. We're about to have the same record as y'all, too. Fisher Freight in Iowa. Give me Fishers minus 1.5. Iowa had nothing to play for, especially after the recent quarterback signing. You know, they're just signing anyone. I think give me Fisher minus 4.5. Green Bay at Quad City. I think Quad City gets the win at home. And then Massachusetts versus Tulsa. Why are we favored? Why do they want to favor us now? Now they want to notice that we're a good team? Like, come on now. Really? No.
Just take the favorite, bro. Just take the favorite.
No. Look, I'm going to explain this, right? They want to favor us because it's convenient for them. So it's fine. You know, Marvin has to play us, right? We don't play anyone. They can sign Tom Brady, Brett Favre. I was telling one of our guys, man, they could throw a train at us.
Whoa, buddy.
They can throw a train at us. They can throw a bus at us, man. It's Pirates and 5 every day. So give me Massachusetts minus 4.5. Oil them up part 2. Marvin, I hope you're ready. And Andre Coles, man, we own you. We own you. So that's really what it is. Tucson and Northern Arizona. I like Northern Arizona to cover the spread of 7.5. I think their defense has been playing pretty decently these past couple of weeks. Ramon is on a heater. So give me Nads plus 7.5. San Diego at Arizona. San Diego defense is crazy. Hey, I mean, that just speaks to the type of recruiter Jawad is, man. I mean, he's the best in the game for a reason. Don't let me get on my Jawad tangent, man. Man, like, I think that's someone who's really disrespected in the industry. Someone asked me who I look up to the other day. You know, is it Ricky? Is it, Ron Schertz? And I said, no, it's Jawad. Jawad is someone I consider a role model for how it should be done. San Diego, Arizona. Give me San Diego plus 5.5. Their defense is playing amazing. And I like the over in that game as well.
All right. Yeah, Draco's back. That's right. So that's a big win for San Diego right now, and they actually gained a couple guys back from the short-term IR list, if I remember correctly. Mike Davis has this to say. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've got a lot of talent on paper. Some people have some deep pockets in the league. That's for sure. All those $250 paid guys in mass.
I mean, look, relationships are huge, right? Again, relationships, people, you can't put a value on relationships, so he builds good relationships. And so, I'm happy that he is really good at recruiting, and he deserves to be on that.
You mean you can't put a value on your checkbook when you're throwing money? Some people just can't say no to certain amounts,
No, when you have guys on the team like Stephen McBride, he came to Mass because he, grew up with Puka Williams. That's one of his idols in his town. So he wanted to come to Mass because of that. Guys come to Mass for different reasons. A lot of people want to put dollar amount. I'm not going to speak on the money end, right? All I'll say is our guys get fed, our guys get housed. And if you're upset about that, then you can go and drown. I don't really have anything to say to you about that, man. Like, we take care of our guys. We feed our guys. I mean, I don't know what they feed their guys in Vegas, but their defensive guys, man, they must eat McDonald's and Burger King before games based on the way they play. So that's all I got to say. Number 1 defense in the league, man. Come on.
Man, Mike Davis catching strays in the chat. That's hilarious. Man, I don't even know what to say to that,
He's on
Krish.
one today, Sam. This dude is on one.
Mike might have a point here.
Oh, I've actually thought about that, Coach.
He's gonna take a long vacation because he knows he's gonna catch so much crap.
Like
he
it'll be
knows
worse
it.
than that, man. I'll be on a fast. It'll be like last year at the championship game.
Krish, I mean, if Coach is coming on for a couple weeks as your replacement, I mean,
yeah,
we could do that, Sam. We could do that. I'll take Mike all day.
Yeah,
that would be
definitely
fun. But I don't know if Coach will be able to do it because he'll be in Cancun after the first week of August. So I might be there too because he won't have time to be on. Cancun's a nice place. But I project we're going to Tucson. We're going to win. I'll send him a championship hat, just like this one, man, new and brand new. And we're going to get this W. Don't worry, man. We're winning a championship. So.
Wow.
I heard that he's getting a group discount when he flies with Mass to Cancun. So, I mean, there's probably always that. He'll be right next to Jawad on the beach. If he's there, that is.
I don't know, man. Coach Thomas might be there too, right? Well, Coach Thomas was there weeks ago. Now he's already moved on to 2026, getting ready for that heartbreaking playoff. So,
I wish I could deny that, but at the end of the day, the games are played for a reason.
Hey, Chris, if y'all don't make the playoffs, I'm gonna have so much content that I'm gonna be able to make with you. It is gonna be hilarious. You gonna get my followers up, buddy.
I will say this: Krish rides or dies with this team. So, if you had 1,000 Krishes in your fan base, you are definitely going to be set as an arena football team. You are going to have the most dedicated fan base in the world. You might have a lot of brawls outside of games afterward, but that's just a side effect of how Krish talks sometimes. But I will give you that, Krish. You are the type of fan that every team wants.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ride or die for my boys. Yeah, that's really funny, Coach.
Exactly, and I can identify with that.
You got me there, but no, I appreciate my team. I appreciate what we do for the community. We get a lot of flack, and again, I don't appreciate the Orlando rumors. If you want to talk about us moving to Orlando, I will find you. You take one Google search and I can find your address. So don't put up arena fan. I know arena fans, stay on your side of the border. Okay, please. That's just my message to you. So don't put up lies about our team moving to Orlando. Right now we're focused on the playoff run, and whatever comes next comes next. But don't like everyone wants to talk about lies because we're winning. When we're losing, they want to talk about how bad the team is. But why are we not talking about Bay Area moving? You see those stands, right? So let keep the same energy. Our fan base has increased this year. If you look at our attendance numbers, our attendance is actually up 30%. That's a stat. You can confirm that with anyone in our marketing department. So we're doing better. We're coming along.
I feel it's very necessary for me to disclaim right now that Krish is not going to come to your house. We do not at all condone him threatening anybody or any of that. that is not a statement from Shady Sports Network. That is a statement from Krish. And yeah, we don't condone that stuff. That's all I'm saying. He's just kidding. It's just a joke. Don't anybody take that too seriously. No, honestly.
They did. They definitely did have a come on, Coach. Really? They
Hey, he got you there, buddy. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
on the Green Bay game. We played Green Bay
for the roster that you got, Chris,
yes,
and for the marketing team and the foundation y'all got there, it shouldn't be that least amount of fans in the seats, buddy. That means y'all worried about the wrong stuff and not the right stuff.
No, and I agree, but again, at the same time, it's like our marketing director got hired before the season. He got hired 2 days before the season because our other guy left, got called up to the MLB, right? And so these are the things.
Bro, I got hired 15 days before the first game. So what's the difference? So what's your excuse?
But like we can.
What Ricky and them say, the standard is the standard. When you come into a program like that, you got to live up to the standard, baby.
But when you have professional sports teams in Boston's a very overpopulated area, so it's hard. It's difficult when there's you got to understand. In the summer, every night we played as a concert, right? I don't know why anyone would want to see a bona fide criminal in Jerry Roll, perform. Sorry to any Jerry Roll fans, but I don't want to see a bona fide criminal perform at Gillette Stadium. I'd rather go to a Pirates game. So my thing
I'm going to
is
Jelly Roll, bro. I'm going to Jelly Roll. I'm being honest with you. Like, hey.
Yeah, bona fide criminal. But people would rather go see that for some reason, and they sell 70,000 tickets to go see that, and then we have to take the brunt of it because people don't come to our games. So we're always battling against something in our city. We're not the only thing in town. We don't live in an underpopulated area. We live in an overpopulated area, and that's just a fact. Boston is the #1 city in the country for a reason. So you just have to fight against that. And I eventually believe we can break the code. I believe we can. I believe we can be successful in this market. I just think you'll have to take more, and that's it.
Yeah. Not even sure where to go from there. That we got so far off on a tangent. So, all right, we did the betting odds. We talked about the IFL. We talked about did we talk about the NAL?
No, we had our NAL guest on, but we touched some topics, but we didn't talk about the NAL in the whole.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, there isn't really much news right now to the NAL. Nothing really has changed since last weekend. But I did want to get your guys' thoughts on the Amarillo coaching staff coming together because I know Krish has some stuff to say about Billy Perry being hired as the offensive coordinator, which before Krish goes, I do want to say I am interested to see how this turns out. I know a lot of people are going to sit here and say, he's a kicker. How can he be an offensive coordinator? Well, the reality of it is I've seen defensive guys coach offense. I've seen offensive guys coach defense. I've seen former wide receivers be defensive backs coaches. To me, this isn't really that weird. If you know football, if you're around the game constantly, if you're a football nerd, like I happen to know Billy Perry is, I don't think that he's going to be ill prepared for this situation. I could end up wrong, and I'm okay to eat that in the future. But I think that he's going to walk into this and be very prepared, and he's going to call an offense that I think is going to surprise some people. But I've said my piece.
I second you on that, Sam, because I got a whole offensive playbook, and I'm a defensive guy. So I've seen Fred Shaw. He's a defensive guy, calls the offense in Colorado. There's a few other people who do it, who played opposite side of the ball, but they're coaching on the other side of the ball. So it just goes hand to hand. And me and Chris talked about this yesterday. He was so upset. And I told him, I said, yeah, on paper, it might not be a good hire. But at the end of the day, we can't say nothing until we let this guy coach and see what he actually does and give him a full season through it. And then midway or at the end of the season, if it ain't going with the way it should have went, then you got the right to speak your piece. But you at least got the right to give this man a chance to prove himself. We can't just we can't just throw him under the water without giving him an accurate, justification of the standard.
You make a good point, and something that I just occurred to me, just popped in my head right after I saw this comment. One of Krish's favorite coaches in the world got his start as a special teams coach, and then ended up being one of the best play callers in the NAL afterward. Just saying. But Krish, you haven't had a chance to speak.
Yep, Coach McGraw.
Exactly.
So I don't have a problem with the hire, and this is funny. I don't have a problem with the absolute hire. I think it's good that they hired someone from the IFL. He was a coach in the IFL. What I have a problem with is the roster they're building. Is that, you invest so many resources on building a team, and you're going to put out a bunch of bums to play for your organization. I don't know how you can feel happy about the guys you're signing. I don't know. You got to understand, man, to win a championship, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And Coach B, don't even say, oh, you have to give them a chance. I've seen these guys play.
I'm going to say on behalf of Shady and us, we do not consider those players bums. That's Chris.
Okay, but I watched tape. I watched the film. I know who's who. That's why I'm one of the best in the game when it comes to watching film. So, in my opinion, is that What did I ask you? What did I ask you, Coach B, last show? Can West Texas go into Omaha and beat Coach Negron? And can they beat Coach Negron when he comes to West Texas? No, they're going to get destroyed. Two of those guys on that screen can't even run a fade, right? And I'm not going to say who. They can't run a fade around. You watch the film. So why are you signing guys that are going to make you look bad? Like, you're disrespecting by saying we're going to win a championship. You're disrespecting all the teams that have come before you that have actually won championships. That team is going to, like this guy right here, 40-year-old. He's okay. I hope West Texas is ready for when they play Omaha, because this dude is going to end up in the ambulance after the first quarter, right where he belongs. He should not be playing the NAL. He's 40 years old. He played 7 years ago. He's out of shape. This dude right here with the backup D3 linebacker, okay? Like, respect to him. I've seen the film. I've seen the tape. All right? Let's sign legit guys that are going to make us look good on the field and not embarrass us. You're going to get embarrassed. You're going to get destroyed. So don't come back to me week 3 next year and be like, oh, you were right about West Texas. West Texas will be one of the worst teams in the NAL. And because they want to rush and get excited and say they built a football team. Building a football team.
To our defense, Chris, defense, we said let the coaches coach, not the players. We said the coaches. The schemes, we got to let him coach. But as far as the roster, I do not agree with the roster, because I feel like for what they're bringing in the ownership group they have in the front office, that's not the caliber players that you want to bring in. They're bringing in the old AIF Amarillo roster, which was not a very good team in the AIF. Well, it was a decent team, but it would not be able to compete in the NAL or the IFL. So I think they're going to subpar players, but I wouldn't call them bums. I wouldn't call them that. They just sticking with what they know, and I think they're trying to keep it to that same model. Local players around that area that they don't have to spend a lot of money on.
Yeah, and again, Coach B, you don't have to spend good money to get good players. You got to convince players. You got to have players buy into what you're building. Omaha doesn't spend big money. Me and Coach LeBron were talking about this the other day. No one on Omaha gets paid over standard. It's a standard there. You know what I mean? Like, they get paid the $250. That's it. You know what I mean? So you don't have to pay guys, I mean, maybe $350. I don't know. But what I'm saying is there's a certain pay standard, and he's not going to break it and pay guys overboard, right? And so you have to trust. You have to convince players that you're building.
Chris, do you mean to tell me Tommy Armstrong was playing for $200 to $350? Let's be realistic,
I'm sure
buddy.
for that in sponsorship. Yeah, sponsorships are the way to go in arena football. Am I wrong? Right? Like, that's probably
not wrong at all.
You probably got a nice little sponsor or something like that. But the point is I see the roster coach building this year. This is the best, because he saw the Carolina team. I've told people this. The Carolina team last year, before they folded, would have not made the playoffs. They would have lost out, even with all their guys. Even when they had all their guys at full health, they would have lost out, right? And so Coach knows that. And so he's building a roster that's reflective on, competitive standards, and trying to build a roster that would compete in the IFL. Omaha this past year would not be a playoff team in the IFL. Omaha next year, if they win the IFL, would be a championship contender based on some of the guys he's bringing in. So it's very interesting when you look at roster building, construction, and the overall philosophy that goes into building a roster. West Texas had no formula, right? They're just building on who they know. This guy gets a job, this guy gets a team, this guy gets this, right? That's not going to work long term. They are going to struggle, and they will be the worst team in the NAL, or one of the worst teams.
I just think it's a reflection. The players are a reflection of the coaching staff that they sign.
I think that is accurate, what Coach B said, but I also think that this is the very beginning. They've signed, 7 players? I would be willing to bet that if you went and looked, a lot of those players are semi-local. They live in Texas somewhere. I would imagine that a lot of these guys, there's a good chance they don't even make the roster. Do they want to come back and play? Probably, because this is in their backyard. But at the end of the day, just because you get signed to a roster in the preseason does not mean you're going to be the guy making up the roster when it comes to the season. So I don't think that these signings should be as concerning yet as they might be, if the entire roster is made up of guys that we maybe don't think can play at this point, that, maybe then it becomes a concern. But as of right now, I think they're moving quickly to sign the local guys because these are guys that they're familiar with, and they can build some form of a culture, even if it's not necessarily a guy who ends up making the final roster. But we'll see. I honestly, I get it. As of right now, there's not anybody that you point out on their roster and say, oh, I'm scared by this one guy, or, anything like that yet. But we're very early in the process. It's July. They don't even play till March. So, I mean, there's so much, so much time to go. How many times have we seen a team sign an entire roster, and then by the time the season kicks off, 90% of those guys were not even in training camp with them, so there's a good chance that they're building up their local player base, and then they'll go from there. And maybe this is, the guys that are going to make up the unofficial practice squad that hangs around the team, and stuff like that. But we'll see how things go. It's like I said, it's very early in the year. Coach Negron says they can invite 35 guys to camp, saving on housing, building their way. Not a bad thing.
They live in Texas. This is not, you're not in the middle of, Nebraska or some state. You can find talent. You just have to look hard enough.
Yeah, but you got to think about, Chris, it's Texas too. It's big. Everywhere in Texas is not close. So it ain't a hop, skip, and drive just to get to Amarillo, bro. So you got to think about that too.
I agree, but I think you can do a better job. I think what I see is lazy coaching and them not wanting to go and get the best level of talent. Yeah, they could build their roster and prove me wrong, but based on the guys they're signing guys who have familiarity with the organization in the past, who have played in different leagues against lower level competition. They're being disrespectful to competition in the NAL, and they will learn the hard way. So you can clip this too. They will be one of the worst teams in the NAL.
We'll see. Like I said, some of these guys might not even make the roster. So, we'll see how things go. Ultimately, maybe these are training camp bodies because, again, they're local and, they don't cost as much as far as housing and all that stuff that Coach Negron just brought up. We'll see. Like I said, we're really early on. Any other subjects you guys want to touch on that we haven't touched on already?
I just know Omaha's the clear-cut favorite for the NAL for Chris this year.
Yep. That's not going to change anytime soon. As long as Coach Negron is the coach in Omaha. Oh, notice how he just clicks out and leaves right when you say that.
Yeah, just when they get on him. But I do think if Beaumont came back, that would be his favorite.
I agree. I could see that for sure.
And I know we was talking earlier in the show about Beaumont.
Yeah.
Realistically, when in the early stages, Chris, when I was talking with Sam and Griffin, they never even thought about going to the NIL until the last minute. Their whole goal was to be AF1 from the jump when they started Beaumont.
Interesting. So yeah, that's going to be something that's interesting to speak on. And actually, let me take a moment to say some things. So this past week, I put out a post. Not Shady Sports, me, this guy right here, put out a post that Beaumont had been denied by the IFL, which I had to walk back a little bit a couple days later due to some other information coming to light from the IFL side. I was put in a unique scenario where it was two people that I trust not to lead me astray on either side of the information. I chose to walk it back realistically because I felt like I might have done some damage to Beaumont's case somehow, some way by posting out there that they were prematurely denied. I still feel very heavily, and this is my opinion, not necessarily the opinion of anybody else on this network, but I still feel very strongly that Beaumont will not get approved by the IFL. I think they ultimately will end up in either the AF1 or the NAL in 2026. But I wanted to take a moment to address that because I have been getting drugged by multiple people across social media for what I did. And that's okay. I get it. You put out misinformation. You should get the repercussions for your actions. And I'm okay with that. That's part of what we do here. I feel integrity goes both ways. You can't just celebrate your victories without chalking up your losses when you do have a situation like that comes up. So while I do feel that what I initially reported was not 100% correct at that time, I do think by the time the 2026 season kicks off, it will be accurate. Now that doesn't excuse what I did. So now that that's out of the way, Krish.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, I understand, I appreciate you kind of taking accountability, but you were right. You know what I mean? Like, I think Beaumont has no chance in getting the IFL. You saw their owner on social media, that level of unprofessionalism to say, oh, you're scared, you're this, you're that, the IFL owners. Do you think ownership is going to like to hear that? An owner going off on his Facebook page, talking about how bad what you're going to do with IFL, how you're going to beat them, everything. That's unprofessional on so many levels. So they should worry about their field, the way their dashers look, their security before they try to go in the IFL. They don't have IFL money.
I think it's more so he was taking offense to what Sam said, and what I'm saying, he was just defending his organization. Any owner feels like, especially after they win a championship, they the best product on the show right now. So he feel like he got the right to do that. My question to Sam and Chris: what do you think would be the deciding factor that they don't get into the IFL? Because my only thing would be is I think they got the money to get in. I think they got the roster, the resume after this season to get in. I think fan base would be the only reason why the IFL denies them, because they didn't put a great enough amount of seats
Two
in there.
things. Two things for me. So first of all, you already hit the nail on the head with the attendance. I think that's something that they would definitely be wary of. And I'm not saying that's a deal breaker by any stretch, but I think the big thing for me personally would be their field. So I think the field needs to be improved upon. I think they need to have probably a brand new field. If you go and watch an IFL game and you look at the standards across the league, we talk about it a lot. The standard's the standard, right? So in the IFL, the standard is you have for lack of a better term, and I don't recall who said this, so credit to whoever hears this, because I'm sure it was somebody else who mentioned this, but the new shiny toys in terms of the brand new turf, the newer looking walls, the production value of the teams is very high level. So not saying Beaumont can't get there. I don't want this to sound like I have no belief in Beaumont. I know they have money down there to a certain extent. I know they can, try and work things out and potentially get to a point where they can make it work. But I think it's going to take a larger investment and something that we did not see last year, and them, bringing in a lot of new equipment and stuff like that to be prepared for the IFL standard.
I agree, and I want to add to that. Look at West Michigan, right? Look at that organization. Their field is in better condition than Beaumont, right? And we haven't heard any news about them going to IFL or any league because that ownership is comfortable where they're at, right? They don't want to spend that type of money. But that's me saying it's like, if they can't be considered for an IFL opportunity, then why are we considering a team that field looks horrible? Their field is in bad shape. Their dasher pads are falling off. Their nets, you see the nets they play with. Those look like nets you got out of a youth football field. I don't know, Coach B. They might have got the nets from you. Like, I don't know. It's so bad, man. Like, it's it's unprofessional. The security there. There's so many things the IFL would not want with Beaumont. I would be disappointed as an IFL fan because I know how much of a standard we're held to, right? Or everyone in the league, right? Your uniforms, you're this, you're that. Griff Carr would be getting fined every week if he was in the IFL, right? And he wouldn't have any money left by the end of the season. So, he would be in the same boat as Keith Russ, right? And so I don't think it makes sense for them to go IFL. AF1 would be their best option. And I don't know how you could reunite with the NAL. I don't know how you could reunite after you basically diss them in the most professional way possible. I don't
I
know.
don't think I don't think he dissed them because they did say the door is still open for them to get back in to possibly return. I
But why
think
would
they
you
just
want that? Why would you want a team that just basically said, "Oh, we're gonna leave. We're gonna look
I
for
know
better
I know
money."
I know
You're
why
already
Omaha and them
second.
I know why Omaha and Sioux City would want them in there. Revenge to knock off the big dog. But to defend them, you got to realize too, this was a first year organization. So they had to go through the bumps and bruises of a first year organization. Now they know what to fix. Now we give them an off season to fix these things and see if they can fix these things. And then now we really hold them accountable.
That's fair for sure. Cedric Green tuning in, host of the Bus Stop. As you all should know by now, that show now is on Saturday mornings right after this show. So make sure to tune in. I believe it's 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. So in about an hour, said you can correct me in the chat if that was wrong. I'm going to pull up a couple comments here. We got Fred Elliott tuning in. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being in the chat. I have to agree with Krish Vyas on this. Plus, it doesn't make sense for Beaumont to join the IFL with some things for the team to work on. That's the point that I wanted to touch on. I don't necessarily fault the Beaumont organization for wanting to join the IFL. You know, they're the top dog. I don't think anybody's really going to deny that. Even the people in the other leagues, they know what the IFL's accomplished over the last 17 years. So I think that in that instance, you know, it makes sense that they want to be a part of it. Obviously, you want to be in the biggest and the best thing, the shiny thing or whatever, as far as the IFL. But with that, I think they had overlooked the fact that they have a lot of self repairs to do. So they need to, get that field we talked about. They need to improve their walls, like we talked about. They need to improve, their rebound nets, their goal posts, stuff like that. And in order to do that, why wouldn't you want to stay in the NAL for another year or two, where you're obviously one of the more talented teams in the league? You just won a championship. You're coming off a season in which you had a lot of success. You had some bumps in the road, so you can still clean up the operations on the football side. You can clean up some things with the arena as far as your setup. You can do all these things and then prepare for a properly, designed jump to the IFL in 2 years. After 3 seasons with the team, after you've built up a fan base for 3 seasons, after you've gotten to a point where you're an established team, and you're more likely to be approved, in my opinion. But again, this is my opinion. Luckily, I have a place I can voice my opinion. So, on that note, definitely curious to see what happens with them. Krish, what do you think the chances are that they end up in the AF1?
I think they're going to F1. I think it's basically confirmed. I mean, based on what Coach B, his reporting, where he said that Sam Gordon wanted to go to AF1. I think they're going to AF1. I really think they're going to AF1, especially with their ties, their connection to Gary Compton. I think they'll end up AF1. I think the bridge is already it's burned in the NAL, I feel like. And that's just my opinion.
That's fair. What do you guys think about this comment from Cedric? I know this is kind of a unique thing, but these leagues should operate like European football and have teams move up and down based off success.
I like
I'll
that.
go first real quick and kind of get some of the stuff out of the way. I think the problem with that thought process is that we kind of have that system in place already with the AAL2 that has built some organizations up. But at the same time, the AAL2 is unique in the fact that they are targeting being a developmental league, whereas the NAL, the AF1 do not view themselves as a lower level than the IFL or vice versa. So I don't think these teams necessarily want to go up or down based on success, because realistically, they're all on the same level for the most part. But what are your guys' thoughts on this?
I think those lower leagues, UIFA, the WIF, all those leagues should merge into one. You got your fall league, which then you get a rating of those teams, who's doing it right, who's doing it wrong, and they should be able to move up and pick whether they're going to a different league, whether it be IFL, NAL, AF1, and then those other spring lower leagues like AA2 and all them, like you said, they're developmental leagues. You have them play the winter champions, and you get the better teams out of them, and you build on that to go up to the bigger leagues. And I think you have those other three leagues vet these lower division teams to come in and help them do it the proper way and then build them up. That would be a successful model. Honestly, eventually, I would love to see the NAL and the AF1 come together as one league, and then you have the IFL with the indoor version rules and the AFL NAL with the arena style rules. Then you got really two leagues for lower tier leagues to come up and be a part of, and you build on foundations. And I think that would be the only way that we continue indoor arena football for years to come.
I think I told you this, Coach B, too. My projection is in 10 years from now, like 10 years from today. So let's say 2035, I believe that the NAL will be dissolved, and I think it will be a division of the IFL. I think the IFL will get so big that the NAL won't be able to ignore it anymore, and the top teams from the NAL will go to IFL. Why that hasn't happened yet is because there's still promise for the NAL to be successful as its own entity. But when the IFL, I heard a rumor last night about a TV deal next year. I think it's very promising. I think it's very, and I think it's very good. So give me an NAL.
Interesting. Well, we've been here for you guys have been here for 2.5 hours. Let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. Any final thoughts, any thought processes you guys have been able to get out here yet today?
Can we do our TAL segment real quick?
Absolutely. What specifically did you want to discuss about the TAL?
Just our picks for the week. Me and Coach
Yeah,
B.
picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go for it. I will pull up the schedule real quick.
I already got my picks.
Go for it.
I got the goats.
After that, nothing else matters.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing. So I got the goats. I ain't gonna lie, the lunkers are hot right now, man. I got the lunkers over the woo. And I'm gonna say Hot Springs might upset somebody tonight. Nah, I'm just playing. Hot Springs not gonna upset nobody tonight. I got Duluth over Eclair.
Okay.
But I do not count out Bones. I think it's gonna be a tight game tonight. But we goaded over here. So you gotta go where we gotta go. But I think the Lunkers gonna beat the Woo too.
That's fair. Coach Negron says I'll be at my second TAL game of the season tonight. Looking forward to seeing the talent at work. There's a ton of players that are going to be at that St. Joe's game that are worth a look for sure. So
Yes,
definitely
sir.
interested to see Coach Negron making so many of these TAL games. Coach Negron, are you going to be in New Jersey July 26th, I believe it is, for the AAL2 championship game? Question mark. We'll see that in the chat because I'm definitely curious about that. But Krish, what are your picks on these?
All right, so right off the bat, we talk a lot about coaching. Iowa Woo has coaching, but talent is always, at the end of the day, will be coaching. So give me the Ozark Lunkers, man. I feel like Brandon Mackey is the best running back. Brandon Mackey, the MVP candidate. I don't really have much to say about him. That receiving core is really coming on its own. That running back room is really good. The wide receiver core is really good there. Emory Bryant, my boy number 4, is really good in the pass blocking game. Give me Ozarks by 20 against the Woo. Tyler Coca, revenge game. Or he's going to ball out. I feel like Hot Springs and St. Joe. Coach B, when you say upset, to me, like you really haven't been watching the TAL. This won't be an upset. St. Joe is still what St. Joe is. It's, in my opinion, I'm not really surprised that Coach DeGrone is not going to that AL2 championship game. But Hot Springs I feel like St. Joe will beat Hot Springs just because of momentum and where St. Joe is trending up. Hot Springs is right here at the top. Give me St. Joe. Eau Claire and Duluth, man. Duluth showed me this week they can't handle losing. A lot of the guys on social media are acting up. You can blame it on Coach O'Neill all you want, man. I want some of the guys on the team to take accountability, right? I want some of the guys on the team to take accountability. And so I think you can blame it all you want on Coach O'Neill, but what are the guys on the team doing? That defensive line is a liability. That defense got exposed last week. However, they got new pieces coming in. So the guys like Richie Murphy, we talk all about Richie Murphy. Richie Murphy's an amazing content creator. Richie Murphy doing great things for the sport. I know my boy Trey loves Richie Murphy. He thinks he's the second coming. He thinks he's the second coming of like Patrick Surtain. That's what Trey was saying. So I think Richie Murphy is a decent corner, but today's a make or break game for Richie Murphy. If he doesn't perform, he's going to get cut next week. That's what it is. He's missing tackles, missing blocks, missing the simple assignments and alignments. I want to see a guy like Deron Maxwell take accountability as well. He gave up 3 touchdowns last week. So this game for Duluth, they're going to come out angry. That receiving core can run with anyone in any league. I said it multiple times. That's a top 5 team in Eau Claire. That's a top 5 receiving core in the country, in my opinion, regardless of league they have in Duluth. So Javante has to be able to make the throws. I'm excited, man. Give me Duluth by 25. That Eau Claire team is a mess. Whoever decided that David Facione should be playing TAL ball, I don't know what you're smoking. Marijuana, crack, or whatever. But David Facione is not meant for 7-on-7 ball. Terrible fit for the TAL game. So he's going to cost them the game tonight.
Completely disagree with that last statement. He's just playing out of position currently, but that's okay. Claim all this watching film, and then you don't even know the guy's more of a defensive lineman than he is a linebacker. But Daniel Villapando tuning in says, quick question, boys. What was or is for breakfast? So let's make this the question of the day. What was or is for breakfast for you all that are watching today? And let us know in the chat. Drop your
Springs
answers.
Wise Guys.
Hot Springs Wise Guys are for breakfast?
Yes, sir.
I love it. As far as my picks this week, Brian says take all 3 of the home teams. I'm actually going to go Ozarks, St. Joe's, and then I'm going to take the upset in Eau Claire. And yes, I'm biased, so everybody can sit there and say that I'm biased. That's fine. Tay Brooks is my guy. I'm going to pick with him 9 times out of 10. But I also know that he has, some influx of talent coming. So maybe, just maybe, he has enough to get over Duluth this weekend. If not, that's okay. I'll ride with my guy. I get it. Brian says Pop-Tarts and chocolate chip Pop-Tarts. That sounds pretty good. So make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. Coach Trey tuning in as well. What did you guys have for breakfast this morning?
Coach Trey, I love you, bro.
I don't normally eat for breakfast. Sometimes, some days I eat breakfast, but I'm a big dog, so I just wait for lunch. I get up and I, kind of do, I have my morning ritual. I love that, Coach Trey. Still give me Ozarks by 30 though. But I just wait for lunch some days. And today, man, I'm excited. I'll be eating a heavy dinner while I watch my Pirates oil up Marvin Jones and Andre Coles tonight. So that's what's about to happen.
Yeah, instead of the oil, you might be thinking it's actually cooking oil.
Yeah.
Coach B, what about you, sir? What did you have for breakfast?
I told you, Hot Spring Wise Guy.
That's fair. Coach Trey says my boy must be blind. That's hilarious. Lots of coaches and owners tuning in today. Really appreciate everybody who watches this show. We are about to hit a new milestone, 150 live viewers. Really appreciate everybody who tuned in today. I'm pretty sure that is the highest number for this show so far. But we still need your guys' help. If you're watching, you're enjoying this show, you watch it every week maybe, we need your help. We've only got 7 likes currently, and that's across every platform. So do us a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit that heart button. They all count. They all tell the platform you're watching on to push the show out to other viewers. Also, if you haven't done so already, jump over to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Like I said before, we're on the road to 2,500 subscribers. We're also on the road to 2,500 followers on Facebook. So in both of those situations, we need your help. Go over there, hit follow, hit subscribe. It's all free. It's all free. I would never ask you to spend your money unless it's on Shady Sports merchandise. So make sure you go check out Shady Sports merchandise as well. Really would appreciate if you guys hit up the merch shop and join the crew, rock some Shady Sports merchandise. But on that note, any final thoughts you guys have before we get out of here?
Coach Trey, just to you, I did pick the Lunkers tonight, but I'm always team no south. I got to put a little fire up under you and Vic behind out there. So let's keep coming, man. To Bones, Chris speak highly of you, Bones, but you been goated, baby.
Yeah, I appreciate the comment by Coach Negron here. He's keeping it PG for a reason. I know he agrees with everything I said, even if it was out of the box sometimes. But no, I appreciate everyone watching. I know I can be a little much in the morning, but, that's why they do call me the Messiah. So, you got to be out of the box sometimes. Tonight for us, man, I just want people to remember, we just got our 70th franchise win last week. It felt great to be in the building. I was there for number 1, and I'll be there for number 1,000 too. So I think we're, building something special here. Playoffs every year, 2-time Eastern Conference champions. Tonight, put all the attention you want on Tulsa. Give Tulsa the attention. Give them all the flowers. But you have to respect the number 1 defense in the IFL, and you will respect it. So our goal tonight is to walk in there, leave no evidence, and get out and come back home with a W. So that's all we're trying to do.
Go Tulsa.
You can talk your talk, Coach B. Until Marvin has one of these. That's when I'll speak highly of him, when he has one of these from the IFL. He has one of.
Hey, I'm about to say he got one. He got one from the Omaha Beef.
No. I need one.
He got
from
one
the
of
IFL.
those.
When he has one from the IFL, then we can.
And he got one from FSU too.
Yeah, we're talking about IFL rings. So as far as I'm concerned, we have a ring, and a lot of people don't. So I'm really thankful to be a fan of this organization, to be a small part of what we're building. Jawad, the team with the GOAT. He's the best scout in the industry. You guys can learn something from him. And let's go Pirates, man. Every day, all day.
I will power, baby. Hit the like button on our page. Follow us because we're getting a championship this year.
Absolutely. So a lot of great games tonight. Thank you once again for everybody tuned in. We just hit a spike. We're about to hit 160 live viewers. Once again, a benchmark for the show. So really appreciate everybody doing that. Again, hit that like button no matter where you're watching. If you haven't done so already, follow us on all social media. Stay tuned in. And then here in about a half an hour, the bus stop is going to kick off. So if you want to talk a little music, talk a little bit at NFL, a little bit at NBA, they kind of touch on a bunch of different sports. Make sure to tune in right here on Shady Sports Network, all the same platforms you're watching right now. It'll be on in half an hour, led by our boy Cedric Green, and also my brother from another mother, Jordan Martinez, known as Static, his rap name. So also wanted to throw out there, if you happen to be a local artist that is making music of any sort, whether it's, country, rap, hip hop, rock, whatever, if you want your music to be heard on this platform, hit up Cedric, hit me up, hit up Jordan. We'll get you guys on the show. We'll allow you to kind of play your whole song, assuming you allow us to do that and you don't demonetize us for that. But and then we'll help kind of get you in front of some new viewers on this platform as well, and hopefully help you kind of we'll help you jumpstart your musical career. Also, jump over, grab yourself a sticker. Like I said, they're only $1 a piece, or $2 a piece, $1 if you buy 3 at once. And also check out Shady Sports merchandise.
And on another note, if you guys can, any coaches owning, man, drop some book recommendations. I'm trying to expand my reading collection. I reached out to Coach Negron. He gave me some good recs. I reached out to Coach O'Neill. Haven't heard back yet, but I look forward to, just reading. Knowledge is power. I need to study up because I'm about to take over the industry. So how am I going to do that, man? I gotta learn from the greats. You got to learn from the greats so you can defeat them.
Absolutely. One last request as well. Check out shadysportsnetwork.com. We have been pumping out the articles lately. We are on our 19th day straight with an article, and we just put out a TAL article talking about how they're around for the long haul. So if you're a TAL fan, make sure you jump over there, hit that like button on that article as well, and share that with all your friends. We would really appreciate that. Also, let us know what you think of the new intro, which I am about to play now, and we'll catch you guys next Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern right here on Shady Sports Network for your new favorite show covering all indoor football.